What's up, everybody? I'm Jordan Riley. This is the Fully Vetted Show, and with me today is Mikele Buck, Army veteran, musician, all-around badass.
No.
Mikele, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's awesome. Another podcast. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. You're kind of another veteran around here.
I am. I am. U.S. Army from 2000 to 2008 with all the requirements to stay in 2 years as a civilian before they give you your DD 214.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And for people who doesn't know, that's your papers that you're free.
Yeah, that's I told Matt and Billy. I was like, that's the thing that lets them know you legally don't have to be here
Is
anymore.
it DD 214 in Marines?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
I figured
same
it was across the board.
I think that is across the board.
It
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
So I have one.
Yeah.
Honorable.
I know.
Somehow or another.
There's companies that turn them into blankets because I know it's like kind of a coveted item. You know, everyone wants the DD-214. It means you get to move on with your life. But
Yeah.
that's kind of why we're here, though, is moving on with your life and kind of talking about where you've been and what happened afterward.
I got back from Iraq in 2005. Started my band. I knew music was going to be what I wanted to do. Didn't know if I could do it. Ended up with some bumps in the roads, working, welding, going to college, getting a degree, thinking that I'm wasting my life playing music, and then coming to the final realization that, I deserve to do what I want to do.
Did you do that before you
I
joined
did.
music?
Yeah, I played music for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And right before I joined the reserves in 2000 to get college money to play football, not knowing that you had to pay for college up front, and then the Army would reimburse you to do it. So didn't end up going to college. Ended up coming down to North Carolina to work and just be a civilian. And towers got hit, and that reservist slot goes away real quick after that. So got involved to a unit called the 458th Combat Engineer Battalion, and we supported the 1st Cav Division in Iraq, finding bombs on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So, which I was a mechanic, but I ended up gunning and doing more missions with the platoons than I did, just because nobody knows what they're doing, and you're needed where you're needed.
Was it something like when you have an MOS in the reserves and then they find they need you to fill a billet somewhere else, they can just put you in?
It's basically, you want, if you're doing anything with motor vehicles, you need people
right
there to fix them. So it was just smart to have, but you're a saw gunner, you're a rifleman first, and no matter what a MOS or job, I don't know what the Marine Corps calls it, but you're a rifleman first, and your first job is fighting.
Yeah, I mean, the Marine Corps has the term, like, every Marine is a rifleman.
Yeah,
because no matter what,
Armies, you're a rifleman first.
In the situation that you may be in, you're going to be behind a gun. Yeah.
Iraq, there's no front line to that war. You're not battling over turf.
Yeah.
So maybe to an extent like Fallujah or a stronghold, you've got guys battling in, but we were occupying Iraq. We were a police force pretty much, and I don't mean to get political, but I mean, I couldn't distinguish what the main objective there was to do at all. Who knows? But my job was to find IEDs on the side of the road. Our unit's job was to clear IEDs. And it's a bomb war. It's guerrilla warfare. So we didn't know nothing about it when we first got there. There was guys doing that in soft skin Humvees.
Yeah.
Before we got our 1114 Humvees with the armor on them.
Yeah.
And half of them didn't have the full armored kits, so you're out there gunning with no shield.
Yeah, no turret, no
no
nothing.
turret, no. Yeah. So
just completely exposed.
It was one big shit show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it was. And so I got back in 2005, started living life again, which was difficult, and I think it's more difficult than what you expect it's going to be. It was in one way, you don't want to feel like some whiny bitch, I don't think people know how difficult it is with just becoming a regular person again. Once you've seen, no matter what your job over there, you're going to see some shit.
It was like a life-altering experience.
You as a kid playing G.I. Joe, you expect that you're going to be, some Marcus Luttrell or something like that. It's not everybody's job to be Marcus Luttrell. It's And so you don't expect to be hindered in your mind as much as, they don't teach you that.
Right.
They don't teach you how to cope or how to bring yourself back to reality, not to, blow up at a coworker. All the
Well, a
shit you
lot of
go
it's
through.
glorified, and a lot of the military celebrities have these incredible stories, and people kind of think that, like, oh, it makes sense that he's going through that, and then they
Yeah.
never really think about what the average Joe
Yeah.
who's gone through
There's a
similar
huge there's a
events.
huge difference in Navy SEAL training and Green Beret training to, just your basic
Right.
standard soldier or Marine or Air Force or Navy.
Mhm.
There's a huge, that's why they push those guys so hard mentally and physically to break them down. So they've been at that state where they're broken down more times than you can count before they're in a situation that literally calls for that readiness. Most soldiers aren't ready for that.
Yeah.
Your first IED goes off beside you. Your first friend you got gets shrapnel on his arm and he's screaming. You're not mentally prepared for that
No.
at all. Especially coming from the reserve side, being activated.
How did you get there? What was the thing that brought you
I
to
joined the
join?
reserves for college money. I wanted to play football. I had some scholarships offered. I went to a shit school.
In West Virginia?
No, I went
No?
to a badass football program from West Virginia to a 1A class nothing school in North Carolina, and just it's just a different animal as far as that. So I had dreams of playing pro ball or college ball, or I just loved football as a teenager, so I love football, thinking that maybe I was better than I was, or maybe I was good enough. Who knows at this point? But wanted to walk on, at least walk on, see if I could make some of it. And we were not rich people, 3 kids, couldn't afford college for everybody. College, I don't know I know what it was per semester now. I couldn't tell you back then, but it was probably, just out of reach for my family
Sure.
without a scholarship. So we moved back to West Virginia right after I graduated high school. I worked coal boats, hauling coal out the river, and I didn't want. It's a good life. It's a good livelihood, but it's I just wanted something different.
Yeah.
And I just figured, kind of always want to serve. Grandpa was a World War II vet. Uncle's in Vietnam. Dad and my uncles was in the Army and stationed in Germany. Heard all these great stories.
Just kind of fit.
It's fun as shit. You know what I mean? It's our fraternity. I mean, we play for all these college kids now, and they're like, "Man, we got crazy last night." It's like, you ain't seen crazy, buddy. You have not. Y'all are amateurs.
Take him into a barracks party.
Yeah, y'all are amateurs compared to the shit we got into when we go. We're in Kentucky and we go to Cincinnati for a weekend off or something. You haven't seen shit.
Yeah.
Good luck on you. So
And that's why these guys they were kind of trashing on me for what they see Marines at the bar, and I'm like, you don't understand. Like this is their outlet. They're just blowing off steam.
Yeah,
They're having a great time. They're finally getting
these guys. I mean, especially around here, it's because it's Marine Corps everywhere. These guys are away from their families and their homes. I mean, most of them are not from here.
Yeah.
And they're in their 20s. And how dumb is everybody when we're in our 20s?
Yeah, no, mama's not here to tell you what
think
to
you
do.
can rule. You get out of basic and that green uniform goes on, and you just got the pec muscles. And you're slender down. You're in the best shape of your life.
Bulletproof.
You bulletproof, and then you go to a bar with 10 other dudes that feel the same exact fucking way, and it gets interesting. And you have fun. I can tell. We could do
a lot of testosterone.
We could do another podcast on like we'd rent like suites and stuff. And just go out to bars and everybody just pile back to these suites and just the array of.
It's just a fly on the wall for that
I'm
party.
glad there's no Facebook back then. Man.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a problem around. I had a lot of, social media was a big thing when I was in, and it was a lot of trouble for a lot of people. Is get you caught up in some things you don't want to get caught up in.
One of my favorite memories is a party we had, and then we were in Wisconsin because we were stationed at Fort McCoy. And all of us had the weekend off, and La Crosse, Wisconsin is, and I'm pretty sure it's of Guinness Book of World Records for most bars per capita.
In that town.
In
Wisconsin?
that town of Wisconsin, and it's like known for just bar after bar after bar. It's like basically, 3 or 4 blocks of Greenville.
Yeah.
And, it's just crazy. And I think the university's in Madison, but and it's not far from Madison or whatever. But anyway, it was a fun
College town doesn't help either.
thing. Yeah. So we rented like these 2 big suites. It's got like maybe 2 bedrooms and like a couch and pull out beds and stuff. So really 8 of or 9 of us staying there, 8 or 9 in the other room. Well, the reservation or something didn't go through, so we all got stuck. There's like 15 of us in one suite.
Just everyone piled in there.
And my favorite memory, for the life of me, I can't remember his last name because I'm horrible with that, but everybody's just piling up in beds, and what little bit of women we had in the Army, and then some guys brought girls back from the bars, and it was getting wild. But I was laying in bed.
Yeah.
I was laying in bed, and I was like on the edge, and there's like some other people here. We won't get into details, but I kept hearing my name being called. And granted, everybody's fucking hammered. It's Wisconsin. It's cold as shit. I kept hearing my name called. I'm like, who the hell's saying my name? And I looked down through the glass of the like where the lamp was. One of my buddies had made him a bed like underneath the bed this way, and his head was.
It's just
Oh, so funny. It was one of my best memories, man. He was laying there. He's like, I couldn't find nowhere else to sleep. And he was like a smaller guy. So he's just like up under bed. You can see his face down through the coffee table.
It's funny. Some of the best memories that I have nothing to do with the military, but it's just with the people I was with.
Yeah.
In the military.
I hunt every year. And we'll get into the what I think the healing part of bow hunting is that I'm trying to get a lot of veterans in.
Yeah.
In a little bit, but I hunt every year with, at least 5 or 10 guys from Iraq, my buddies in Iraq, every year.
That's awesome.
We do a bow camp every year, and I started doing it 3 years ago. They've been begging me for years to come up, and for a while I was like, I just don't want to be around anybody. I just want to forget about it. Let's just, not that it was all bad, but it was like, it's time to move on. And I've always been the type of guy, I was on The Voice, and everybody's like, makes a big deal out of it. I moved the hell on from it. It was, it's over. There's nothing dwelling on something good or bad for too long. It's just a bad thing. So I didn't really know that I needed that in my life until I went. And then now it's something that I have to do every year to go be with my buddies. And it's like, you never left them.
Yeah.
It's just a great, great feeling. So there's,
it is amazing how you can get back together with somebody and it's almost like you picked up right where you left off, and nothing changed.
You cannot explain it.
I almost revert back to a different me.
Yeah, you do.
Even my wife will be like, "I have no." What
like this camp. One of my friends, William Sapina, pulled up, and he's actually stayed one of my closer friends as far as talking since this whole thing. We called him Wild Bill, and he's just a nut job of a guy, and I love the guy to death. But he hadn't been to camp yet, and he pulls in, and he had some kind of, he had like a dress shirt. He's dressed like our handsome producer
to the nines.
Yeah. Because he's like, I can't make it up the hunt, but I'm gonna come up there for the weekend because the weekends usually we hunt all weekend, and the weekends like one night we just all get blitzed.
Yeah.
I think we
take a night off and have fun.
Yeah, all do. Yeah. We went through like 10 bottles, different whiskeys and tequilas and stuff, and just got blitzed. And the hunter I am reserved myself so I could go out. I saw a huge buck and went back after it the next day when everybody else was sleeping. But he pulls in. It's pissing down rain the entire week in the soggy mountains of Pennsylvania. And he pulls in. I was like, "Tell me when he gets out of the truck." And I run out the camp, and he went to give me a hug, and I just bull rush him into this big puddle, and both of us just rolled around hugging each other. And I ain't seen him in 10 years, and it was you can't explain to people how much those friendships and relationships mean.
To see the people that you almost feel like don't even exist anymore because they're so removed from your life now.
Yeah, even the fuckers you didn't really like. Even the ones you didn't like, everybody might have made fun of. Fuck him, man. He comes and he's like, holy fuck, holy fuck, man, what are you doing? And then you have the best time together.
It's like, because it brings you back to that memory, and it's instantly
it's
that's it.
It's family. I mean, it's cliche as shit, but it's a band of brothers. You've seen combat or hard struggles with a person, no matter what color or creed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have our buddy Jackson came up, and he was the only black guy to come to camp, which we've got a bunch that I guess they just don't hunt or they want to come and can't come. But Jackson was the first person to show up, and my buddy Andy's like, "I'm gonna stick around camp." I was like, "You're not gonna hunt today?" He's like, "We're in the mountains, PA, man. Jackson's coming." I was like, "Well, just leave him a note." He's like, "I'm not letting him be the only black guy on this mountain." When I was like, "It's not 1950, man. He'll be all right."
Yeah,
you know?
it'd be fine.
But that, I mean, he was just—that's the Brotherhood. He was just like thanking the most
Yeah.
worst that happened to one of our
Yeah,
friends.
I'm
And
gonna
he's
look
like,
out for my
yeah, I'm
boy.
gonna look out for my
Yeah.
buddy. So
Yeah, we didn't have black or white or anything. We had dark green
Yeah.
and light green. That was it.
yeah, was it Full Metal Jacket? Here you are all equally worthless.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And that's the thing that's so cool about it is that no matter where you've come from, all of your buddies have. I don't have one of my friends that was, at least in my circle, that was exactly the same.
No,
Everybody was
and
so
I
different.
tell people like, and playing music because I've had this happen. I've got a couch to stay on pretty much anywhere I go.
Yeah.
So I've been on the road doing acoustic shows, and I've got a, instead of renting a hotel, man, I'm only 30, 40 minutes away from where you're playing, man. Come stay at my
Yeah.
house. And never met their kids, never met their family.
No matter how far removed
And
you
it's
are.
funny because I remember my dad when I was growing up, like he would just meet these random guys that I really didn't know, and he would just hug, and as a kid you didn't understand that, but he would meet guys that he was in Germany with or whatever to get a beer. And it's like, man, I don't know that guy. Why does dad know that guy? You're just a young kid and you see, now
Yeah.
what he was doing, So you got friends, you got family everywhere. It's
Yeah,
just
and
the
that's-
best thing.
Something I always told my wife is I was like, no matter where we want to go, I've got buddies in New
Yeah.
Jersey, New York, Utah. I mean,
Nobody wants to go to Jersey though.
No, God, no. But either way, you know that you have a place to land anywhere you go because these guys would at the drop of a hat
Oh yeah.
for you would
We
open
do the
up their
same.
doors.
I mean, it's like I had guys ride their motorcycles through a few years back, and them and their girlfriends or wives or whatever they were having with them at that time spent the weekend at my house. We all went to the beach and
yeah.
just down a bunch of, I hadn't seen them at that point since the war began, or war was over. Well, my war was over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally in the past couple of years, that deer camp and hunting with those guys is a new level of healing I didn't have.
Yeah.
And that I thought was probably not a good idea because you're going to have those moments when you're tucked in a corner and you're bawling, and then everybody else is getting. You just get it out. It's a good way to just
Yeah.
That
was
let's
something
get a good
that-
cry out.
I was in a pretty low place, probably about a year after I got out, and I was just kind of feeling the sense of loss of that lifestyle and the people I was with and everything. And Matt invited me camping, and I went camping with like his whole family, some family friends and stuff like that, and just it kind of was like a way for me to. I kind of felt like I was getting to kind of like do that field craft again and being out in the field and just living off of just what I got in the backpack. And it just, for some reason, it just, something happened in me. And
Did he bear crawl?
no, I mean, we were skateboarding behind a Honda.
Well,
we were having a good time.
That's a good point because when I decided to do this podcast, I was talking about ideas. Of course, we were going to bring my friend Alan in with the Fallen Outdoors, which
Yeah.
that podcast is coming.
Yeah,
we'll get
for
him
sure.
in here.
I would love to.
It's a great veteran community
yeah.
that we take wounded vets, or we all understand the healing power of hunting, and that sounds so maybe silly to some folks. I can tell you in the past 4 years since I've started bow hunting and pursuing being the best hunter I could be and best archer I could be, how healing it's been for me.
Yeah.
I've been a better father because of it, just been a better person because of it, and just absolutely taking that time to disengage yourself from this society, because let's be honest, the society we live in now is what most veterans fucking hate.
Yeah.
We really
I think
do.
it's the biggest struggle.
The whole politics bullshit, left wing, right wing, same evil fucking bird people. You know what I mean? So just diving into no matter what kind of hunting or fishing or outdoor life you can do. I prefer bow hunting because it takes you to a place where you're alone with your thoughts and you're alone with the struggles of the mission.
Right.
Again, like you said, a backpack. I'm out in the cold. I'm out in
Kind of
it
back
could be
in the
hot.
duck.
Could be you're back. You're putting yourself in a position where man's supposed to be. We're not supposed to be comfortable. you're comfortable, you're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, absolutely.
bottom line, you know.
Yeah.
You got good money, you're working a job, make good money, everything.
Or
You're just
sleeping in a
hunker
bed
dory,
every night.
sleeping in
and
the bed every night.
pillows
Yeah, you
and-
have no struggles, you have no more ambitions,
Mhm.
you know, and
Makes you start to appreciate what you have again. Makes you start to realize how good things are.
well, that and providing just, it's almost a sense like it's so stupid. I went out squirrel hunting the other day and brought home some squirrels, and it's so dumb. But like some part of your DNA is
Like a primal
it's
kind
a
of
primal
thing. Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
That hey, I just provided a meal for my family.
Right.
I feel like a fucking man.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people lose that once you get out of combat or your deployment, that you don't feel like you're valued.
Right.
So
Well, there is a loss of sense of purpose.
Yeah,
There's a loss
absolutely.
of the drive that there, like you said before, there's a mission, and you have a drive because you have to either train for the mission or perform the mission or whatever it be. But
I think that's in any man's life, whether they're a veteran or not,
sure
that they need
Yeah.
to do something to, you know.
Oh, it's built into our DNA.
It is. It really
men.
is.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do this year is trying to figure out some kind of like nonprofit organization because a lot of guys can't afford a bow, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Me
Well,
myself,
compound bow. Costs.
compound bow, recurve bow. If you want to use a crossbow and be a pussy, you can. I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
As I'm Googling crossbow.
Matt's like, oh, I've seen Walking Dead before. Crossbow seems
I
kind
will
of cool.
get this out there, and I'm sorry if I piss people off, but crossbow hunting is not archery. It is fucking not. A 12-year-old or 10-year-old can take a crossbow and shoot it. It's not the same.
I think a lot of archers would agree.
Every archer agrees, and
Yeah.
except the guys who are pussy enough to use a crossbow. And if I offend you, I love you anyway, but you're a pussy. Unless you're disabled. Unless you're disabled, crossbow is not archery. It's not. It doesn't take the discipline. It doesn't take the effort. It doesn't take
The training.
it exactly the training.
Yeah.
I shot probably 60 to 75 arrows yesterday and
Yeah.
was off my game so bad that I was pissing myself off.
Yeah.
And I'm a good fucking shot.
What's
you know.
Cam? What's his name?
Cam Haynes?
Cam Haynes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watch a lot of his videos and
Yeah.
the amount of practice that goes into being.
Well, that guy is insane
Well,
at anything.
Some people have that
He's-
freak of nature kind of talent.
I think he's probably one of the better elk hunters and archers in my generation.
He's the one on Rogan a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I
He
will
taught-
say
he taught me.
I'm a huge fucking Cam Haynes fan, but you don't have to run 400-mile races and lift weights 24/7 to kill an elk or a deer. And you just fucking don't, right? I mean, that great for him. It does help you get up a mountain quicker.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not putting him down. The dude's insane. I love that guy. I love his channel. Love everything about him. Love what he's done for the sport of bow hunting. And John Dudley as well. Meat Eater, Steve Ranella.
Yeah. Steve Ranella's a big
Those
one.
guys. Joe Rogan has brought.
Yeah.
They've even mentioned how much it helps veterans to be, because they've taken these veterans out
Yeah.
on these Western hunts, which I've not got to experience yet on my own, but I will. But I still do public land hunts where it's a lot. I'm not doing family farm, sitting the old reliable
Right,
tree
yeah.
stand. I mean, I did kill a deer on my farm this year, but I do public land hunts, and what I look forward to most when the kill's over, I'm almost depressed.
Yeah.
It's the fact of just.
You've reached the pinnacle, and now
I mean, it
it's
was
down.
lightning and thundering and stuff, and I'm out in a tree saddle. I use tethered tree saddles, and I'm out there the full day. I don't come in.
Yeah.
I take water and I take food and I take extra clothes if I need them. My dad picks on me, tells me I'm stupid because he helped me tote my pack out. He's like, the pack's like 60. It wasn't. It's like I had, some stuff, but I carry a backpack. I'm like, I don't know how long I'm staying out. I'm not going to be out here freezing my balls off
Yeah.
if the temp drops, or I'm not going to be out here without toilet paper or extra water or extra,
Right.
Something. But I think it's a great way for veterans to get into just a relaxing part of shooting. Like it's like golf.
Yeah.
You just
No
want
one- no one's yelling at
nobody picks up a bow in their hand and doesn't want to get better at it.
Right.
It's like golf. You want to get better. I mean, fuck golf, but I did try to get better at golf. I'm just He's not a golfer.
Well, I remember when we went camping, Matt's brother brought his bow out, and I remember shooting the bow with him, and the first 10 shots, you're terrible, and then when you finally get that one, you're like, man, this is addicting.
Yeah.
Because you start to pick up the nuances of it. You start to pick up every single little thing that you're supposed to do in the draw and in the release, and then it becomes like this thing where you're like, man, I feel like this is
It's a martial
therapeutic.
art.
Yeah,
It's a
it
martial
is like
art.
a martial art.
And that's the part what I'm trying to set up maybe this year that I've had this idea for that I've been running by everybody. Like, you know how they got those turn in your old card for somebody who doesn't have a car.
Right,
Well, I'd
yeah,
like to
yeah.
start with the archers group, and there might be something like that already out there. I just want to start my own of, hey, man, donate your old bow to a veteran.
Okay, yeah, cool.
You know, because everybody's upgrading to their new.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're a bow hunting geek like I am, you're going to get the new bow almost every year.
Everybody goes entry level, and then when they get good at it, they upgrade.
Yeah, just donate your bow to this.
Yeah.
Something I was talking to a couple buddies about. You know, how do I go about start? Because I'm not in the business world. I'm a musician, so I don't know about nonprofits or anything like that. But it's something I do want to do because I've seen how much it helps me. Mm-hmm. Just if you're pissed at your kids and you're just having one of those bad fucking days that you know how you are, you get mad for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And you know what it is, but you can't just say,
right. No one understands.
hey,
what
it's
you're
one
talking
time
about.
and here was a bad fucking day for me, and some reason, some smell or something brought it back to me today, and I don't want to be an asshole to my youngins. I'm gonna go outside and shoot my fucking bow for a half hour and just get out of my head. It helps so damn much, man.
Yeah.
And then the hunting aspect of it is even, even better.
That's a problem. Is for a lot of people when they get out, they don't find that outlet.
Yeah,
they don't have any way.
I was lucky. I had music for a while.
Yeah.
But with music came alcoholism and, white trash hookers and cocaine. No, I'm not big into hookers and cocaine.
Are you saying podcasting?
No.
Podcast.
That's Billy's life right now.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's obviously going to become talking to veterans and hearing other stories and realizing it's not just me.
Anything that could help. I know when I was on The Voice, I brought attention to veteran suicide. One of my best friends from Iraq, he was with Charlie Company, with 458, was from West Virginia. We ended up finding each other. He's a little older than me. His name was Charles Call. We came home. He just was struggling and ended up blowing his own head off, and it's fucking tough to see, It's like, fuck, dude, you made it too,
Yeah.
But you have 22 a day doing it.
That's the problem. Is it like when you talk about looking for bombs, hearing a snap over your head and getting in a firefight, and then you hear of somebody making it through all of that and coming home and losing to themselves, and you always think like, man, this is preventable. This is like a preventable problem that we have that can somebody, in some way can find a solution for these for even if it's within your circle.
Yeah.
These guys are struggling and they need somebody to help them out.
I don't
of that
know if
pit.
you've been there. I've been there personally, and I don't, like putting my personal things. I've thought of suicide a fucking lot over the years, and I think it's some kind of sickness that goes along with PTSD or just, I think it's simplicity of the Army. I have a mission. I have a reason to get up.
Yeah.
And it's sad. You can't see that in your children. You can't see that in your wife or your spouse or your husband or whatever you are. It's not, you don't have a problem. That's not unnormal for us. And I think the mainstream makes it, it's just so, it's not unnormal for somebody who's been to, what a veteran goes to. It's normal to think that way. It's not normal to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. So you have to, even at the minute thing of thinking it, you have to go fucking talk to somebody.
Even in the smallest way, every morning when I woke up, I woke up, I put some water in my face, grabbed a cup of coffee, and put on camis.
Yeah, really?
I never had to, when I went to work, I didn't even have another outfit to wear. It was just wake up, you put on your camis.
Yeah.
And then when all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, I don't know what to fucking wear today.
Yeah, you could see it. Like I remember we go
it
out.
becomes like this, like what do I do?
You ever go off post and stuff, and you tell your friends like, take that off, man. You look like a military guy trying to be civilian. Like, let's go to the fucking mall and get you something else to wear. You look like.
Well, Jackson, but
some guys just don't look good and don't look comfortable in civilian clothes, and like you're not walking around. And a lot of people don't notice, but you'll be walking with your guys like outside a club. You're just relaxing. You'll be walking down the street, and I'll be like, "Fucking stop! Just follow me," because you be walking and you're in step.
Oh yeah,
not even fucking knowing that you're doing.
I was just thinking today because a buddy of mine were walking and we were in step. And I just thought today about how, like, man, we used to walk to go get lunch at the chow hall, and everyone's marching and they don't even mean to march.
You'd be doing it like outside a club. You'd be like, man, we're going to have a good time, get some pussy or something. And then they're like, man, everybody do something different.
Off step from my step, man.
Yeah, I'm serious. You're getting that mentality.
That's funny. I just thought of that today because I remember thinking, because everybody's so in unison. You really are. It's like you're all twins. Everybody is so connected in more way, all the way down to the nuance of you walk in step. Yeah. Everyone is so in unison, and that's when those people go away from your life, it really does take a toll, because you go from being, as ridiculous as it sounds, to walk in step together.
Does. And the military ends racism. I'm telling you, if everybody just really would go in the military for a few years and then smoke a little pot and chill out afterwards, you realize that everybody's fucking sane, man. You know what I mean?
We always said everyone's pink on the inside.
Yeah. We went to AIT. My drill sergeant's like, you're not going to room like a bunch of white boys in this room, and you're not going to room. He's like, I'm going to put Buck with a Mexican and a black dude. They're going to know why Buck likes Hank Jr., and you're going to know why he wants some little waves in his head. And that's what he did. So you're in a room. I'm in a room with this cholo gangster from California. No shit. Like ex-gangster from California, Mexican guy, and just stereotypical, what's up, SA? Just straight up like you see in a fucking movie. You're like, hey, fuck, they really exist, And ended up being one of the coolest motherfuckers. He built lowriders and shit. Like, I mean, not making this up. The dude would show me pictures of the cars he built, and I'm like, that's fucking dope, man. And he would explain, you just end up, hey, fuck, he's just a person, man. He's
Well, that's the thing.
I was born in a holler in West Virginia where there ain't a whole lot of nothing else but poor ass fucking Irish descended white people, and he was born in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
For a lot of Latino.
Just happen to be from a different region than me.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see that, and then once you get out, you're like, I don't see.
And when you take a round, I don't give a shit where you came from.
Yeah.
No, I really don't give a shit.
Ain't no KKK in the foxhole, bud. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, but that is the beauty of it, is that brotherhood is so diverse.
Yeah.
And you learn so much from so many different people that when you don't have that input from different perspectives, it's hard to find new friends that can fit those roles.
The fact of everybody just serving 2 years is never a bad idea.
No.
Why would it be? Some countries make you serve.
Yeah, Israel.
I know that,
Yeah, they do.
Well, they need to over there. I mean,
well, yeah, but I mean, I actually met an Israeli woman a long time ago who did 4 years in their military just to go, because then it pays for college. Same kind of thing we've got, where it pays for college, does a good thing, but
relieve student debt.
But it's required there, where you serve in the military first and then you go to college. And she worked at the hand scrub place at the mall. Like you go and you buy the like little sea salt hand scrubs at the mall.
Those little kiosks at the mall.
Yeah.
Can talk you into buying shit,
And they all come over. They're from the same group. They all come over from the same group. They're like all affiliated. It's like a cult.
I've been I don't know how many times by like a good looking foreign chick selling me shit at the mall. I'm walking by and just make eye contact, and the next thing I know, I'm buying fucking hand lotion.
Your wife will love this.
She got them brown eyes. They're just pretty batting them at you. It's like,
But she's also a veteran, and she served her country, and she learned and she learned a lot doing it. And I think it would benefit a lot.
I tell my daughter, she's like, I'm going to go to community college. I'm going to go east. I said, why don't you go in the Air Force?
Yeah.
Get to see the fucking world, babe. You got one life to live. You get to see the fucking world.
Yeah. And you know what,
stationed in Italy or Japan, or you can get stationed
some of the shit
Germany.
You know, one of the best things is going to places where you see the people and how they live, and you realize, like, damn, like we got it pretty damn good.
Think of how
And I
much
have a
pussy
lot
you
to
had in other
appreciate.
countries, you know?
I was
wouldn't have
married. I was married the whole
You
time.
fucked up, buddy.
I was married the
I
whole
was
stint.
not. It was a great time.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, man. You get stopped in a little Germany or Holland, you know?
So the towers fell,
Yeah.
and because you went in, you said, like, you figured you had a goal.
Yeah, I was
You
going to
went
play
in
college.
for a reason. You had this idea in your head. Of what
Well,
was
when I
gonna happen.
joined, I shortly realized that, you know, you had to pay for your college to go, and it wasn't just going to pay, hey, I'm in the military, they'll pay for my college.
Right.
Oh, we'll wait for the money from them. No, they want their money now.
Yeah,
And they'll reimburse you later after you're in school for
you got a
a
front.
semester or something. So
Yeah.
you had to front the money. I was like, well, fuck me, I can't go then.
Yeah,
So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go active duty. Once you're in the reserves, it's not like, hey, I want to go active now. Okay, here's your papers.
yeah.
Go
Sure,
active.
here you go. Have fun.
You can't do that. So you
Right.
got to wait a little bit.
Like you were saying earlier, they have numbers they got to meet.
Yeah, each
You're-
reserve
you're
unit
in
needs
the-
certain, I'm sure, numbers to keep their unit up to par or whatever. And they got certain slots they need filled, and you've signed a contract for that
Yep.
slot. So getting released is not like the most easy thing in the world. So I was like, I'm going to go active. I'm go to Ranger school or something. I'm just going to make a fucking career out of it. Because, you know, playing football's off the table now. And end up getting involved before that could happen, before I got released, because the towers got hit.
Yeah.
So as soon as they got hit, like everybody in the United States every reserve unit, every active, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody went to your unit. And
Everybody's on call.
Everybody's on call. And then I got involved, which was.
How soon after did you ship to Iraq? Was it?
It was a couple years. Into 03,
Okay.
Beginning of 04.
So there was the initial push.
Yeah.
And then,
BIOP was still smoking when we got there, pretty
Yeah.
much, you know.
Yeah.
Battle of BIOP went on, took the airport, and that's where I was stationed. That's Victory, Iraq.
mm-hmm.
So I was OIF 2,
Mm-hmm.
but right when it switched to 2, pretty much. Like I said, first unit that was there searching, using the Operation Iron Claw, which is the Buffalo. It looks like a big jacked up school bus.
Yep.
Got a crane arm on the side. You're sweeping
It's
Friday.
like 20 dudes in a Buffalo.
It's eight.
Eight?
You got driver,
Who's the
crane operator. You got usually your sergeant, guy behind it. There's another seat and a radio operator.
thinking of
Maybe the
a
medic. We
different
kept the
vehicle.
medic in there a lot
Yeah.
because it was the most armored. You know,
Yeah. I wish we could pull up a picture of Buffalo.
we can. We got time.
Yeah.
Guy on a buffalo. You talking about
Guy on a
Yeah.
buffalo.
Just riding a buffalo. When it comes to, you know, we talked about what made you go in, what happened once you came in. It was a big turn of events that took place that you probably didn't expect. But what was the real moment that you kind of had your, I think the term is gut check. Your moment where you really realized, like, holy shit.
My first firefight outside Solder City was my gut check. Like, holy shit, I'm in a fucking war.
Yeah.
I was, you know, as a kid, you played G.I. Joe. You know, your daddy was in the Army. You have his old duffel bag, your grandpa's World War II pictures, and just a lore. There's something about young men seeing a war movie that you want to be this badass.
Yeah.
And
the glory.
you never think about being the poor schmuck that gets fucking, you know, shot in the face on D-Day. You think about being the guy who breaches the wall first. And so you have that which is good to have. People can say it's not good to have. You need fuckers like that.
Yeah.
You need, you know, bottom line is the world's full of fucking assholes, and an asshole with power becomes a fucking problem, whether you can put the politics behind it. Saddam Hussein was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, he murdered, and I mean, he was a mini Hitler, and he did a lot of bad shit that, you know, CNN and shit wouldn't report on because of political.
Yeah. You can't put the truth on TV like
that. There's no truth on TV to how many people his sons raped and murdered and
the atrocities.
The genocide of that whole entire thing. We needed to fucking take him out.
And everyone associated.
And I mean, he was just a bad fucking person. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. but the gut, when I got in the military, I was expecting these, World War II movies, the Vietnam movies, basic. You watch Full Metal Jacket before you go to basic,
Right.
whether you're Army, Marine, or whatever. You
Sure.
know that's
Gives
going
you
to
an
be.
idea of what you're getting into.
Yeah, So my gut check was, hey, I'm just a reservist. I didn't have enough set of balls to just join. I had other reasons that I didn't go active first. I always thought about it. I almost joined the Marines right out of high school. I was 17. My mom wouldn't sign the papers. So from what I remember, she was talking me out of, your grandfather didn't want to be in the war, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah. Which she didn't realize at the time. She asked me one time, why do you get so many tattoos? I was like, your fucking dad had tattoos, and he was a bad motherfucker. That's why he was a guitar picking badass motherfucker. That's who I looked up to, as my grandfather.
Because when you see that guy running over the trench,
he
you're
had
like,
the
oh,
fucking naked
screw
women
this.
on his arm. Later on in life, he found Jesus and regretted getting them and stuff. But to me, he was fucking cool as shit. He picked guitar. He fought in World War II. He had these amazing stories that he told on his deathbed. And that he never spoke of before. He suffered from PTSD before they knew what it was about. He was an alcoholic in spurts. He was
When he
wouldn't harm a flea
Yeah.
until he get to drinking.
Yep.
But to me, he was a fucking hero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just a badass motherfucker. My granddaddy, was fighting the Japanese. He was in Italy. He was just he was a first sergeant, like 28 years old. He was just a bad son of a bitch. Tattoos up and down his arms.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like him. I wanted to go in. And that was, when I was a kid, that's what I thought I needed to do. My dad was in the Army. My Uncle Butch was a Vietnam vet. My uncle's Wendell was a Vietnam vet. My aunt's husband, Bill, was a Desert Storm vet.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin was in Marines. Everybody served. We didn't have a choice. You're poor white trash from West Virginia.
Yeah.
You don't have much of a fucking nothing to do besides coal mine, haul coal out the river on the coal boats, which I did. And I couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. I just wanted to do something different. So I joined up. And reserves was a way, they talk you. If you do reserves, you can do, you can go to college. You can.
Right. They kind of sell you
it's not fucking true. You can do college if you can afford to be paid back later.
Yeah.
So that was a gut check there. It's like, oh, well, they fucking lied.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but technically they fucking did.
Sure.
We'll pay for your college after you go ahead and pay for it
After
first.
you pay
If you
front
have
the
no
money.
fucking money, fuck you, Army. You should be honest with that. Excuse me, we're drinking.
We'll go on record. Army, big fan.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. No, I mean,
Well, I know for someone that was in more recently, I can speak to how a lot of my buddies have done college and were paid out instantly. I think I don't know for sure if it's changed completely,
well, I went to college.
but I know that they've bettered the system. I think.
Yeah.
It's still not fair to the
there's-
people that have done it back
I
then.
get the point because, hey man, I'm going to go to 4-year college. Here I'm enrolled. Okay, here's your paycheck for that.
Right.
Ha 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 ha! I quit.
Yeah.
So you have to have proof that you're staying in
Mm-hmm.
and doing the courses and stuff. I get that, but when you're 18, 19, 17, whatever, right out of high
You
school,
can't front the money for college.
who the fuck can unless your mom and
Yeah.
dad's got a shit ton
Right.
of money, and it just not
Yeah.
everybody has that.
Yep.
College education is one, fucking expensive shit. Two, it's overrated, and three, it's not fucking needed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not. I made more money welding without a degree than
Yeah.
I got a college degree and never went back to work. I just started playing music more full time, and people were dumb enough to pay me, $500 to do an acoustic show. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Fuck welding,
Yeah.
That was a gut check. It wasn't like I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But then you realize, oh, I'm stupid. I believed Hollywood.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, that's my bad.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that
Ah,
one
I
on
fell
chin.
for
And
that
then but that's a recruiting process.
Everybody loves to just say like, "Oh fuck my recruiter, he was a
Yeah.
lying sack of shit."
No, he said enough to get you to bite on it.
Yeah.
He probably didn't even lie.
Maybe not. Yeah.
You can go airborne. You can go Navy
Oh
SEAL.
yeah, you get all the courses.
Yeah, you can.
Could be
just-
special forces,
yeah.
dude.
Special forces.
Yeah, man.
Keyword special.
Yeah. I think that one of the
And I
things,
say that with endearment.
oh yeah.
I say special, not that but they're fucking mentally insane. Any guys that go through what they go through
Oh yeah.
and keep going back for more
And dive into it and really commit.
is a
and
special
just-
kind of fucking human being
Yeah.
that you cannot.
There's a level of commitment that takes.
It's
that
just a
it's
special
not
kind of super.
You
freak.
have to put everything on the back burner. It's a
God bless those
yeah,
guys, man.
for
Fuck
real.
that, you know.
Yeah.
You're willing to halo
Joe-
jump.
I didn't like PT enough for that.
Joe Rogan said something. He said, "Nobody wants to learn how to fight. They just want to learn. They just want to whoop someone's ass.
Yeah,
Sure.
They
Yeah.
don't want to learn how
Yeah.
to fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they're always going to highlight the cheering crowds and the medals.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
The glory of the aspect of being.
Well,
that.
we talked about that earlier about how much we'd bitch doing the same thing over and over again in training,
Yeah.
to the fact that, like, you know, you hear a guy talk about every detail of a firefight he's ever been. It raises red flags a lot, like, in my mind, because I don't remember shit. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
It was one big blur about the little scrapes that we would get in, you know, that aren't shit compared to some veterans. But to me, that was my firefights. That was my. I don't remember like details until like other veterans. Hey man, you were doing this, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
It's like being in a car wreck. It's just fucking happening, and that's why you do shit over and over and over and over again. So you react like
Yeah.
that, and you're like, oh shit, I'm firing. You know, I always used to joke that I'm gonna be like this. You know?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that, I'm not gonna hit.
In no way.
I used to joke all the time about it. I was like, I'm not standing up in that shit. I'm not stupid.
But
you
the
know?
next thing you
And
know,
I'm kind
you're
of,
doing
I'm-
exactly what you're trying to do.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
swapping mags, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't expect you know, you're like, holy shit, I was in I remember the first one we got in, like we came back to post, and I'm sitting there just smoking cigarettes and fucking shaking after the fact,
Yeah.
like I'm
Just trying to process
I'm like
what you
fuck.
just went
No,
through.
that's like I said, gut check. Oh fuck, this is
Yeah.
really fucking happening to me.
Yeah.
We are in goddamn Iraq. We're surrounded by fuckers who hate us and planting bombs on the side of the road, and they're gonna take pop shots at you, and you gotta fight them off. Fuck, we're in a war, and this is
Yeah.
I mean like a month in, and we got like
And it ain't like tomorrow
Yeah.
you get to just go home. It's
Yeah.
like tomorrow's the
it's
same
like
thing as we saw
I'm
today.
done. You know, no
And then the
time
next
out.
day,
It's
yeah.
like, you know, in the we were talking about earlier the misconceptions that, and we're not at all bashing special forces or elite groups like that. They do stuff that we can't fathom,
Sure.
but people in support roles in the military don't get enough credit for a certain time. Like in World War One or World War Two, we're trying to take ground back. We're trying to get France. We're trying to deoccupy Germany. We're
Right.
trying to kick their troops out of these countries. We have a mission. Like even in Desert Storm, we're trying to get Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait. So you have to fight back the enemy with planes, infantry, whatever you got to do. Iraq was an occupation. We're there. People's like, what was it like? Okay, so you got a place the size of Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth area. It's huge, you know.
Yeah.
And you're going in to get all the Bloods and Crips out. Who the fuck's who?
Yeah.
They're not wearing red bandanas
They
and blue
didn't have a
bandanas.
specific uniform. They didn't wear a patch that said that I'm bad, I'm good.
So,
Yeah.
and I don't mean this in a negative way, but you're a fucking police state.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you're doing. And their way of fighting you is in disappearing into a fucking crowd like a normal person and planting bombs by the side of the fucking road.
Right.
There was no army. I wasn't fighting an army.
Right.
You're fighting a fucking ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're probably dicks to people that don't deserve it. You know, it was
But
just
in all fairness, it's that same farmer that was toting an AK to protect his farm turned around to become part of the Al Qaeda or
yeah,
and they were
or is forced to become because they're intimidated by
right.
the Al Qaeda or ISIS or whoever. They're forced to because if look, you're just a visitor. Your influence over them is null and void. They got to live there the rest of their fucking life. They know for a fact that the better deal is going with Al Qaeda because you're not going to be there forever.
Right.
We're the United States. We're just going to butt our nose in to get not getting political, but to get whatever rich fucking white man's yacht we got to get paid for. And a lot of people might piss on me for this, but it's all about money. And it's all about
Absolutely.
fucking putting in leaders so the fucking rich people and everybody else can have their fucking way of what they want to fucking happen with the fucking stock market. That's
Right.
all it is.
Yeah.
You can kiss my ass if you think any fucking different. Every war has been about a rich man getting richer.
Wouldn't have been there if there wasn't oil.
Yeah.
They say it's poor men fighting rich men.
I'm not saying it wasn't worth going. Saddam Hussein was a evil son of a
Absolutely.
bitch. But it
But that's
doesn't
what
take
you-
but
that's
one
what you
fucking
get sold
bullet
on.
and a sneaky motherfucking Green Beret or Ranger or somebody else that go in there and knock that motherfucker out. It didn't take fucking billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars.
Right.
They were doing it. We would go over there with Humvees. And then when we were leaving, we had to wash all our trucks detailed to a white glove.
Can't bring any dirt
You
back.
can't bring any dirt back. You had to wash everything because of environmental safety, which is
Absolutely.
fucking smart. You don't want to transplant. So instead of just leaving those Humvees there, they're paying millions of dollars to ship this next unit's Humvees. Why don't you just fucking swap?
Yeah. Take my Humvee.
So our U.S. government spends money. They're just wasteful human beings, so they can keep the stock. They can, that's why everybody's, are you Republican or you Democrat? I'm neither, motherfucker. They're all evil.
Yeah.
They're all evil.
All of them.
Every fucking one of them. If you're in politics, and I've got friends in politics, they're good people for now.
Yeah.
It's an evil, corrupted fucking system run by the fucking kings and queens of this country's fucking generational sons and daughters since the fucking beginning of goddamn time.
It's history. It's a long
It
time
fucking
ago.
is. And you see this shit. Like, I couldn't tell you a reason besides once we got Saddam, wow, why the fuck are we still here? Well, we got to make sure they have the fair vote. What about our fucking country?
Yeah. My first deployment, I didn't get a vote.
Yeah.
There was no absentee ballot, nothing. You were overseas, you don't get a vote. We don't have time for that.
So, I hate even talking about it because it brings me fucking down so much. But it's just, you see a part of the world, a part of reality that CNN or Fox News or whoever the fuck's covering some bullshit doesn't want to cover. You know, Saddam Hussein was an evil motherfucker. There was like 3 or 4 mass grave sites found with the bodies of like 13 and 14-year-old girls raped by his son, shot in the back of the fucking head, thrown in a ditch that they covered up. You think CNN reported that shit? No. Absolutely fucking not.
Not good.
So they needed to go. We needed to go in there and take care of that bullshit because it was the right thing to do. But staying there and trying to occupy it, and
it's an insurmountable task to ask people to do.
I just think people with money are super fucking smart when it comes to manipulating a situation. Do we need to be there yet? But we didn't go there until the rich figured out how they can get richer by doing it.
Yeah. That was the first thing I'd asked a friend of mine. I was like, when do you think the war is going to pop off?
Oh,
when he said, I don't know. And then you look at what's happening now and you're like, there's only money to be made in a war economy.
Yeah. The weaker the economy, what saves an economy?
Yeah.
What saved the Great Depression?
Well, if I have stock in Raytheon and we need anti-tank missiles, we need tanks to shoot at.
That's like I always joke about people. They're going to ban guns. They're going to ban. I guarantee you, Democrats in this fucking country own more stock in firearms than Republicans do.
Sure, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because what else would make you enough money to say we're going to ban these, and then everybody goes out and buys them?
Yeah.
Follow the fucking paper trail. I guarantee you, they got stock in that shit.
Yeah. That's what. Every time anybody I know has an issue with something, I say, well, it's probably about money.
It's always about
money.
It's about money.
Just follow the money.
It's about money.
That's the answer. Yeah.
And it's about greed and powers that we've talked about. A specialist or a corporal will go to sergeant, and all of a sudden he's just a different person. He's got this power now, and he wants to stop being who we've known him to be. And that's why most military units will change if you get promoted to a certain rank. They'll change you platoons or something, so you're not with your buddies.
Conflict of interest. Yeah. That was my biggest problem when I picked up sergeant soon before I got out, and my biggest problem with that was, why am I expected to act differently than I was yesterday when I was a corporal? Why do I have to treat the guys that I'm in charge of differently because of a single rank that I'm
Yeah.
still in the same leadership position. I'm still over these people, but I have to act differently because of one. There's these stigmas that come with certain things that I think are kind of outdated,
Yeah.
and they just don't
It's
really make
outdated
sense
that you need to have a college degree to be an officer.
because you've read books, because
You can go to college for you can go to college for fucking pool cleaning and go get a fucking officer.
Some of the smartest people I knew were enlisted, and some of the dumbest I knew were commissioned.
Dude, I had great as far as lieutenants, and
I had a couple too. I don't mean to bash anybody,
but we
specifically.
all know that Brown Bar is a fucking retard. He's a mentally handicapped individual
in need of more training,
whose mommy and daddy paid him to go to college so he can go to OCS.
which became which
and
came with
we've
an
got to say
entitlement.
yes sir to him and not the fucking first sergeant that's been there as an enlisted person for 30 fucking years.
Yeah,
It's fucked
the Iraq
up.
veteran
Yeah.
who has to salute to
Yeah.
freshly minted.
The guy who's been through Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm has to salute a guy that's 18 years old out of OCS. You know, fuck that.
Now
It's so fucked
I
up.
understand, especially the Marine Corps specifically harps on traditions and customs and courtesies, and like I get the
It's
I
because
get
it's
it.
created
I get
by
that.
fucking privileged ass like people. I mean, you know, George Washington, in all respect, was a great man, but he was a very, very fucking privileged man.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, he was a farmer in Virginia. No, the fuck. How the fuck did he get all that
How'd he
land?
buy the farm?
Exactly.
He had wooden teeth.
Yeah, he was a fucking rich fucking bureaucrat, man.
Yeah.
You know, and great man. I'm not saying that, but like, he didn't get in charge by being a poor fucking farmer that everybody.
But I had some great leaders that were
Yeah.
commissioned that understood the difference between them and the people that had come
the
before
best
them.
officers I ever
You know?
had were prior enlisted before.
Yeah. Mustangs. I know. I don't know if it's Mustang a term
Well, no,
in the
you can
Army,
you can
where
be. I've got dudes that were specialists with me that are captains and colonels now because
Yeah.
they got their 4-year degree, then went to OCS,
Right.
so they know what it is from basic to OCS to everything.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, change the book to that.
Yeah.
Because you cannot learn to lead men unless you learn how to follow first. And the Army and the
Absolutely.
United States military and government has not ever got that right.
Yeah.
But he's got a 4-year degree from Harvard. So he's taught some bullshit that some other motherfuckers learned.
He
Your
wrote an
leadership
essay.
comes your leadership comes from being the motherfucker who finds out information, who discovers information.
Everybody should start out as a private
Exactly.
and then realize what it's like to be a private and then lead a private.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you-
where the military has
But
it
to
all
your
wrong.
point,
Yeah.
to be a good leader, you have to understand what it's like to be a good follower.
Yeah.
You have to.
And I say this because I'm bitter, because I will tell you a story. I was supposed to be an E5 before I got out of my contract. And one night we boarded a bus from the NCO club. I was bowling with some colleagues. And the shuttle led back to the barracks. We weren't allowed to go off post at this time. We're training, whatever. Well, there's Charlie Company, Alpha Company, Bravo Company. Everybody, was just there having a good time with their friends. I had 3 beers. I was bowling. And had a good night with my buddies. We got on the bus. One of my sergeants was shit-faced drunk. This other dude gets, and everybody's just having a good time. They're on this bus to go back to the barracks. And this guy gets on there. He is fucking shit-faced drunk. And he's like, I'm so-and-so, Sergeant so-and-so. Y'all shut up. And you can tell he's fucking drunk, but he's still trying to do, y'all do what I say.
Yeah, throwing rank around.
So people in the back, and I know exactly who it was. It was my fucking sergeant. Says, sit down, you dumb motherfucker. Right? Well, he comes storming back and gets in. Everybody has a Smitty, so I'll say it's Smitty. He was a sergeant. They get in each other's face. My specialist ass stands up, tries to break him up. Hey, man, it's not, chill out. Well, this dumbass grabs a hold of me. Right?
Dumbass.
So I like take his hands off. I mean, and he's probably 40 years old at the time. I am like 24,
Yeah.
and I'm a big dude. I've always kept myself in pretty strong shape. I literally take his hands off me. I was like,
Yeah.
no, you don't get to touch me. Take your fucking ass to the front. I'm a fucking East. I said, I don't give a fuck what you are. You don't put your fucking hands on me. You're not going to fight tonight. Just chill out. Just calm down. You're getting extra duty. And he's fucking slosh drunk. So the bus drive goes. You know, we go, and he's with Charlie Company. End up being good friends with this guy. Not great friends, but like end up he realized he was a dumbass. So we go back to the post. Instead of him getting off at his barracks, where he should have got off and just let it lie, he was fucking drunk enough to stay on the bus till we got to Alpha Company's barracks. Well, I'm walking by, you're getting fucking extra duty, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, do what you got to do, motherfucker. You know, like I said, I never was a good soldier. I'm me, and I've always been me. So he reaches up and grabs my pearl snap shirt and tries to jerk me around. Well, my shirt comes unbuttoned, but he rips my pocket open. And I had told him when he threatened me the first time that I'd knock him the fuck out if he puts his hands on me again. I know you're not supposed to say that to an E7.
Yeah.
But we were in civilian clothes. So he does it, and my first reaction is to knock the fucking piss out of this dude. And I hit him so hard he flips over the goddamn bus seat. Then I run off the bus because everybody just like, get the fuck back to chaos breaks out. You've been in there.
Yeah.
Chaos breaks out. There's like 4 foot of snow. We're in Wisconsin. And the bus driver tries to shut me on the bus. Well, I shoved the door back open and apparently broke up something on the bus. Little did I know the bus driver was a retired guy. His son was the commander of the MPs of the post.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was bad. So I remember I jumped over the snow pile, my sergeants and everybody's like, hey, man, get back to the barracks, blah, blah. So we're running. I'm laughing. So I take around the back of the barracks for some reason. You know, I don't go to sidewalk to go back to these
Trying to sneak back in.
old relic barracks they had in Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. And I feel somebody jump on my back. So I thought it was just like a buddy of mine. I'm like, haha, my buddy's jumping on my back. So I just judo flip him over my back. And it's just, dude, I don't know. And the next thing I catch a fucking fist from another dude. And I turn around, I'm like, well, fuck, I'm in a fight. So I punch the shit out of this dude. He falls. We're in snow. It's ice, snow. Yeah. He falls and they get up. About that time, my buddies finally catch up with me and break it all up. And long story short, I go up top and my chief warrant officer comes out. He's like, what's happening? And my other sergeant's like, just go to bed. Shit. I was like, man, they're going to come in here.
Yeah, you know they're coming back.
So next thing I see MP's flashlights showing up. There's fucking lights everywhere. So I was like, I remember I was in civilian clothes. I had a John Deere shirt on. I don't know why that stands out to me. But so I get arrested. They take me and another buddy of mine, he's a sergeant, as a witness because he's seen all of it. Long story short, it got ruled self-defense. But when I became a police officer or sheriff in Greenville, I had to write a story about what happened because it was on my record. And when it came time to get promoted, my sergeant major he gave me 0 points because I needed to learn a lesson. So I needed, like everybody gave, because we have a promotion board to be sergeant. So I've got all these points from all these other sergeants. Say, hey man, you know, Buck's a hard worker, Buck does this, you know. Yeah. They'll tell you your negative shit, you know. He's kind of careful, you know. I just wasn't like gung ho, you know. I just didn't give a fuck about all the little details, but
he wasn't a robot.
I did my job, and like I was respectful. If I needed to salute, I saluted. I didn't cause problems, and so he gave me 0 points, and I didn't make sergeant. So like 6 months in Iraq, he comes and tells me he wants my promotion packet on his desk, become a sergeant, and me being me, I was fucking bitter, and I said, so I was, can I speak freely? And he's like, yeah. So it'd be a cold day in hell before you ever give me my fucking stripes, bud. I didn't deserve it. You're the one that stopped me. Well, you need to learn your lesson. I was like, so an E7 could put their fucking hands on an E4, try to start a fight with another. Now, granted, it was the other dude's fault.
Hiding behind their rank.
Yeah, and he lost no rank for assaulting somebody. He got his ass handed to him. And I'm the one
because he was embarrassed, ended up being able to talk to his buddies.
So then they want to, and if I had a regret, I wished I went ahead and put that in. I got out an E4. I should have been a sergeant.
One of the biggest problems around, I feel like any branch would be the toxic leadership.
Yeah,
I feel like any branch can relate to somebody. They know somebody who was just in charge of them. But
the closer you get to the top, the more politically driven it is because a lot of the stars have political ambitions.
We used to always joke about the Spider-Man quote where it's like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Where it's like, but it truly is. You either get out at this rank or you live long enough to see yourself do everything you said you wouldn't do when you were this rank.
Yeah.
You know, and it's true.
And you know, once I got in, like we talked about, like it was never like I expected it to be. I enjoyed the camaraderie and I enjoyed the brotherhood of it. I enjoyed the mission aspect of it. I enjoyed the work of it. I enjoyed everything but the fucking politically correctness. I didn't get none of that, you know. They're sending female medics out on combat missions.
Yeah.
And I have no problems with females being in combat. Israelis proved that they can be.
Sure.
Russia in World War II has proved that women can be in combat. I have absolutely zero problem with it, with a bunch of women being in combat.
Yeah.
But when you take one medic with big titties out with a bunch of dudes that hadn't had pussy in 12 months,
That's true.
it becomes a fucking distraction.
It changes the dynamic of what's going on.
You know what I mean? So they were trying to do shit like that.
When I was in the infantry, one of the things that happened during the latter end of when I was in was they were trying to not integrate women in the infantry, but they were trying to kind of get the feelers out on putting some women in the infantry battalions, maybe seeing what happens. And exactly what you would have expected to happen happened.
You bring a chick in this room with 3 dudes.
Yeah.
We're all fucking, you know, married and all, you know, somebody's going, we're going to try to
you act differently.
You know,
you behave
you act
differently.
fucking different. Yeah. It's just a thing that happens. And
in an environment when it's life or death, there's no time for putting that dynamic in that role.
I won't tell the story. Well, I will tell the story because it's fucking funny. That individual came up to me, she was a medic, and asked me what my blood type was. And she was writing in a notebook because she got to go out on these missions or whatever. And I'm like, it's on my dog tags and it's written on the back of my fucking boots.
Yeah.
You're not going to have time to look in your goddamn notebook.
Yeah.
And if you can't find my dog tags or the back of my boots,
if my leg is over there and
there's
I'm over
no
here,
fucking use in working on me at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah.
And I get she was just trying to do a great fucking job and do her job. And she was an incredible person and everything like that. But I just remember that being so fucking funny. Like, you don't know what you're about to experience in this shit.
Yeah.
You have no clue what you're about to do. And luckily, there wasn't many missions that happened on, but it was funny. What blood type are you? I'm going to write it in my little notebook. I'm going to put it in my pocket. That way, if you get hit, like, I'm going to take my time while you're bleeding out to look through my notebook. Oh, all these names, time out. Yeah. Oh, Buck's
let me take an extra moment while you're for more a lot of
or I could just go O positive or his boots O positive.
Yeah.
So that was like
it just changes it changes the whole dynamic of you know, you think of guys in a fob, you know, in Afghanistan out on the side of a mountain. Yeah. And there's one woman there. Yeah.
I'm sorry to you know,
there's plenty of women that can do it. Don't get me wrong.
There's plenty of
them.
There's tons of ladies that.
But there's not a lot of men that can handle it. That's there's
I'm not talking about
dynamic.
Like, it's well, for one, the majority of people sign up. There's always that one girl. I want to be infantry. Okay, but there's not a lot of girls that want to lay brick for a living. There's not a lot of females that want to. Yeah. They want to be and it's not fine. Fuck it. You don't have to force shit, but like they've tried people out for elites. And what was it, the 6 or 10 women that
for like Army Ranger battalion they were trying to go through.
Best shape.
Yeah.
The best shape women in the world could not make
Look
that
at UFC fighters, there's plenty.
We are a different animal. We have different chromosomes.
Well, one of the biggest things that we harped on when there was the conversation of women in the infantry was that, you know, the military is about numbers. Like you said about you wanted to go from reserves to active. They have numbers. They have you know, billets they got to fill. They have stuff that they have numbers they have to fulfill. The problem is if you say that we're going to allow X into this role, there's a certain number that they're going to come up with. But in order to get that number, either A, they achieve that number because there's that many badass women that want to do it, or B, there's a handful of women that want to do it that can meet those requirements, and they need to fill those roles and those numbers, and so they have to drop set requirements to fill those roles, and that's when it gets dangerous. Is when you start dropping requirements.
You could take Ronda Rousey,
Yeah,
who's a beast of a woman, who's an incredible athlete, incredible just specimen of a woman,
a human being,
you know what I mean?
in general, yeah.
She can't carry a 120-pound pack like I can, and I'm not in that
Not
great
for
shape.
20 clicks. Not.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. You know, God created two different species of human,
Yeah.
and one's a man and one's a woman. You can pretend to be whatever the fuck you want, or you can say you whatever. I have no. That's not what I'm saying for my future career to last. Actually, I'm not Joe Rogan. I will tell you to go fuck yourself because I don't care about that shit. But it's just, why do you think? I love Dave Chappelle. If LeBron James went to the WNBA where he'd score 1,000 points a game, it's just the fucking truth. And you cannot walk away from the truth. And the problem with this generation is they think that feelings are more than factual. And I'm not saying anything negative about women. One of the greatest snipers of World War II was a woman from Russia. I think women should be able to fight in combat. Matter of fact, if a man has to sign up for a fucking draft, so should a woman. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's a difference in combat. I can sling you over my shoulder. I'm a big dude, so I know at least you and your buddy can sling me over their shoulders. There's not a woman that can drag me out.
Right.
There's not.
Yeah.
I'm 260 fucking pounds.
Well, in a
weight
real
with
life
gear on.
scenario,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
really it truly matters.
When my life comes
There's-
down to it,
it's not about politics.
It's a physical attribute
Yeah.
that keeps women out of combat.
I remember distinctly going through. There was a building on Camp Lejeune where it smelled like the Middle East. It looked. I mean, they had a
Diesel fuel and goat shit.
They had a yeah. Well, they had. I mean, it was. I'm trying to remember the name of the facility, but it was to simulate that environment.
And
so when you would go do the
garbage,
training,
yeah.
it was. They had role players. They had people from the Middle East who naturalized here and actually got jobs working there, and they would wear their typical traditional garb, and they would act the way they did. They spoke in their language, and you'd have to perform certain missions in training just in order to get a feel for what you're going to get into. And I remember when I was a private or lance corporal or lower enlisted, one of my NCOs went down in the training environment, and I remember stripping his flak off to get rid of some weight and trying to pick him up. And he was a 220 pound, 6'2".
Yeah.
And I'm 5'9", 180 at the time, 185 on a good day. And even though the environment we were in was realistic enough to where your adrenaline was going, you really were trying to do the real deal. And I remember struggling. I dropped my own rifle, my life and death tool, the thing that was going to keep me alive, and I dropped it in order to get enough, to shed enough weight to pick up this person as a grown man. And I'm just thinking of my wife or an average woman trying to do the same thing. It was like if I was struggling as somebody who's of the same frame.
Let's be honest.
Well, there's a reason there were certain guys were tunnelers in World War One or tunnel rats in Vietnam. They were tiny.
Yeah.
It's just the fact, like, physical attributes it comes into play in a
and you have but the biggest thing is you have a role, and you just find out what you don't try to. I mean, I understand aspiring to be something. Don't get me wrong, and everybody should have the opportunity to try out.
I'm never going to be a jockey. You know, I can accept this.
But the biggest problem with the politics in the military is that they almost have to force it. They're like, no, they are going to be this, and we're going to make it happen.
Our politicians aren't real people. They're raised up privileged ass fucks that have no clear clue to reality. I'm talking about Donald Trump, and I'm talking about Joe Biden.
Yeah,
fuck every goddamn one of them.
Yeah.
Because I voted for Trump. I'm not gonna lie, because it was way better than that bitch Hillary. But they have no reality of what real life is.
Yeah.
They have not experienced it. There's some like I said, there's some politicians that come from nothing and they work their way up. But at some point, you have to sell your fucking soul to the devil. Apparently.
Absolutely.
You know, and I have fucking putrid hatred for politicians. I really
Yeah.
do.
Well,
I think-
because there's people on the ground doing their work
Yeah.
for them that are dealing with atrocities
Yeah.
that they couldn't even imagine.
yeah, no,
It's
there's-
one thing watching SEAL Team 6 raid bin Laden's house from a Zoom screen
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
than being the one that has to clear a corner
Have
and
you
not
s-
understand what's behind, if there's a gun behind that corner.
Have you seen, was it Sebastian Maniscalco or whatever, his talking about riding with the Navy SEALs to kill bin Laden? Have you seen that skit?
No.
You need to watch that skit. That's the funniest shit. It's so good. Just watch that skit. Sorry, I saw a squirrel.
A side note, when you're at basic training, do they have stall doors on the toilets? Because when I was at boot camp, I remember having to shit in front of dudes. I mean, there's 7 or 8 toilets lined up in front
We
of another
did
7
in
or 8
basic
toilets.
when we were stationed at McCoy, these old barracks. I actually have a picture of like 6 of us on the toilets,
Yeah.
like taking a shit, like holding hands.
What's
Yeah,
up, bro? How's it
yeah.
going? You
I mean, and
feeling
they're
good?
not like a space apart. Like we're all. I have a picture. We're all holding hands or giving each other 5, taking a shit. Because
Yeah.
after first you're like, oh, I gotta go shit. And some people like put like their they build makeshift blinds and shit
Yeah.
like that. But our barracks, we were a bunch of fucking idiots. So after a while, you're like, I got shit. You're gonna see my dick in my ass, and you're
Yeah,
gonna smell my
this is-
shit. And
It's a humbling experience
Yeah.
to have to shit in front of
that's a
another person.
part of being a veteran that people don't understand. Like I've seen so many dicks in my life. Like
Yeah, more than I'm willing to.
Yeah.
Care,
It made
more
me
than I
fe-
care to admit.
there were some that made me feel great about myself, and there were some that made me feel like, fuck, man. I've seen dicks that are so big, it's like I don't know. Yeah, like that. Like that I don't know. Like you don't have enough blood in your body to get that soldier to stand to attention. You don't, you know. And then you see some, you're like, oh, that's not normal. Like that's like
Yeah. We
Like-
had a guy we called the Alaskan bullworm.
the biggest dick in basic training was actually a white dude.
Really?
Yeah, from Boston.
Usually the
Yeah.
Irish are,
I'm Irish, so
Yeah, me
we're
too.
good.
Yeah.
We're known as great lovers.
yeah, but not well endowed, you know? Or
No, we are.
just make
we
do
are.
with what we
I'm,
got.
I'm proportionate, motherfucker. And that's brought to you by Ricky Bobby.
The love line. It's a hot
No, but like the underlying ground of how perverted veterans are and how just like
just dudes.
Well, that's something that we hit on before. I was like, man, you got to understand dark humor.
there's
Dark humor is something that gets you through.
Yeah.
It's like it's just understanding the reality of things and making light of
I
it.
love
and
you
it
know, and
helps
you carry it through like civilian life, and like people think that you're just a fucking idiot. I remember having knee surgery, and I woke up and I asked the doctor if my dick was still there, and I was like, you didn't cut my dick off. And I remember just being like fucked up from anesthesia or whatever. I'm like, you didn't cut my dick off, did you? And he's like, no. And you know, you don't pay attention to nurses and everything around you. And I fully knew what I was saying. I was just giving him shit.
Yeah, but you know, if that guy was like an army medic,
Yeah,
he'd
he
have been
fucking
like,
knew.
"Oh man, you know, it was gangrene. We had to. I'm sorry. We'll work with you." Yeah, it is a coping mechanism, but there's something about that just like helps dudes get through it.
I
man.
do. My buddy I was talking about earlier got his fingers smashed off, and like we popped him with some morphine or something, and we took him to the med tent, and like he got some more drugs in him, and like time the captain came to see him, he was just fucked up. And it's a messed up story, but he like looked at Captain Speed with like the most respect in his life, just hammered off morphine or pain pills or whatever he's on. I mean, he smashes literally. He has a nub now. Like, they cut it down. And Captain Speed was a black dude. He's like, I just want you to know, I've never had anything against the N words. And I'm like sitting beside this, so I feel like racist by association. I'm like,
Yeah, I want no part in this.
Captain Speed, he's had a lot of morphine.
Yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Speed's like, that's
he's
good,
been-
Will. That's good. I ain't me neither, is what he said. And so like, there's this thing, and you know, just this understanding of just people say stupid, dumb shit.
It's a great world, man. It's full of like some of the worst and best people you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, some of the worst. Most
Some
of them
of the
are,
worst,
Most of them are
some of the
officers, you're a
dumbest.
bunch of dicks.
Yeah, but at the same time, you leave there knowing that like, man, like some of the best people I've ever known decided to do the same thing I did, and it was it really it kind of helps you become a better person because
It does.
you
All
kind of-
walks of life, and even in civilian jobs and stuff, once you get past the problem, like when somebody talks down to you, not to just want to stomp their fucking head in
Yeah.
the ground and be total violent against
Yeah.
them, which I've had a problem doing. And,
Yeah.
and
It's hard.
yeah, you start realizing people are just people and they come from different backgrounds, and most people are good folks, and it's one of the best experiences. I tell guys like, hey, what do you think I should go now? I was like, I'm telling you, it's some of the worst experience of my life, but it's
Yeah.
outweighed by some of the best
By
experiences of my
far
life.
the best, yeah.
Yep.
Is for me personally,
I
mean,
would fucking 100% do it all again.
oh yeah,
100%. Yeah. And just for the good times. I mean,
because even though no matter what you go through personally, even having kids and all that
Yeah.
stuff, it's the peak of your
yeah,
as a man, your existence.
we've got
was that.
paid, and I've, you see people posting, man, I've had a bad week, brothers. And you see guys that kind of tend to dwell on it, not in a bad way, but more than I dwell on shit, And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
Wrong.
Matt, J's.
Dumbass.
So you see people like, I'm just having a bad time letting it go. It's like, all right, here's I don't know what to do, fellas. Here it is right here. And you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you how to let it go.
Yeah.
Your profile pic on Facebook is you in Iraq. It's been fucking 15, 20, 10, whatever years ago that you were in Iraq. Post a picture of you and your kids. Are you doing something else besides that? All your clothes are 9-line or fucking got a machine gun on them, or you
Can't even call it a 9-line
look.
anymore.
It's your identity. You do not have to make it your identity.
Right.
And once you get rid of all that nonsense, I think you'll have a better time of just letting it fucking go.
It doesn't mean you
know?
can't take the parts of who you were and make them to better who you are now. But I mean, man, you've been through a lot, and I completely flipped script.
Yeah.
You're doing something totally different now.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
and
I'm lucky to have. When I came home, I automatically had a goal of something I wanted to be, and I knew the chances of this was in most ways unattainable.
But something drove you.
Yeah.
To
So
do it.
I was very lucky in that sense, and I don't mean to put people down when I say just let it go. I know I'm very fortunate to have a goal in mind, and God bless me with some talent of being a singer-songwriter to make a run at it. I'm not saying that maybe I'm good enough to go. Maybe I've made a living playing music for a long time. I've got a lot of fans, and this past couple of years, we've watched it grow, and we're all sitting back just like, holy shit, this believe it. This is happening for us. And
Does it feel like the dam's about to break? You're like,
it does, but
it's like the trajectory that we're
more so now than it has ever. And I think there's a lot of excitement in our camp about it with the band and the people around us, and just the fact that I've not only because I do credit to being a veteran, I wouldn't take anything less. I wouldn't take, hey, I can do this right now and jump on this trend in country music of being a veteran and use it to my advantage. I refuse to do it, because country music has so many people who support veterans more than than any other genre, and I wouldn't jump on that as.
I'm not trying to be Toby Keith 2.0.
Yeah, Toby Keith can.
But listening to your podcast about
yeah.
you being on The Voice and how you were talking about how they, not to say the word exploit, but they were trying to play off of the fact that you had a status.
It's their job, and
like,
I would never cut down to people because they're fantastic people. But their job is to make the best TV show possible.
Right.
That's why even in the fucking Olympics now, so everybody's got this sad story.
Yeah.
His aunt's cousin's roommate in Mexico in 1994 suffered a stroke, and he's just trying to.
Yeah.
Well, motherfucker, he wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
And so they always have this like.
There's got to be like the overcoming a struggle.
Yeah,
There's always
there has
got to
to
be
be,
like some
and-
kind of big
yeah.
underdog story.
I know that's their job to put out the best TV show
Yeah.
possible. I just wasn't willing to play that part
Yeah.
because I wasn't like a great soldier. I did what I was supposed to do, what I was told to do, but I wasn't gung ho about anything.
Yeah, but you never know what role you played.
Yeah,
and what that affected the war.
I
You
was
never
gung
know.
ho about making sure my buddies were good,
Yeah.
and being the best
That's what it comes down to.
teammate or soldier next to you could be. I was somebody you could rely on. If you needed something, I had it. And we all have our dumbass faults, and we all have something, our little groups in there. But I wasn't, I didn't feel like my story was good enough to, we got in firefights in Baghdad. Who the fuck really didn't? I don't see you traveling that town as a, like we said before, the guys that transported, like the reserve units and the National Guard that were just truckers driving supplies to places, had no credit given to them about how fucking dangerous and how fucking you go from being a reservist, I'm just a truck driver, to you're targeted. ISIS and Taliban and insurgents, they don't want to go after SEAL Team 6. They know they're going to get their fucking asses handed to them.
Yeah.
They want to go after
Soft target.
Sarah from Arkansas, who's a reservist who has she wants to be a fucking veterinary assistant. She's just a normal fucking person who her way in life was to, like I did, want to just get a little bit of money for college and just create a better life for myself. And now I'm driving a fucking fueler through Iraq on Route Irish, and I, I got to dodge bombs.
Yeah.
Those are fucking heroes. Those are people who, didn't know that they had to do that kind of mess when they joined in, because you're not told the fucking truth, and you swallowed your fucking fear and you did it anyway because you had no fucking choice. Those people weren't trained to face the fears that they faced, and I don't think they get enough credit for it.
No.
So
I agree.
The offensive line of the Army. And the
it really. I mean,
Absolutely.
seriously, you're
the unsung hero.
You know how many fuelers and stuff we went and recovered from Haiti because they targeted them.
Well, and you say
those are females. Those are you don't need females in special forces. We have them. We have female heroes that are driving the fucking trucks, or we have female, just regular support soldiers, Marines that do important jobs that you cannot fight a war with just guys with bullets and rifles. You need that support, and those people are in fucking harm's way.
Yeah.
Just as much, if not more, than your first ID or your Marine recons or whatever the fuck. I mean, because they're super trained for it. These people aren't. They didn't. You don't go in. Well, we got to train just in case this happens. This was a war. Nobody knew what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
So those people are, in my opinion, some of the most badass people that ever walked the planet.
They had no idea what
they had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
Well, and you sing a song. One of the songs you wrote was about Route Irish, and
I did, man. That's one of my my deeper 15 years to write songs that I wanted to write a song for me, not so much for everybody else.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put it in a perspective that like a civilian or anybody else that would, if you do not know that I'm a veteran, you ask, most people's like, what's Route Irish? Oh, Irish Road about? They have a fucking clue. Right. They don't know. And I wrote it from a bad night. I was dealing I had as a songwriter, you're always thinking about some kind of song in your head. I mean, I've been sitting here and I probably wrote 4 titles in my head of just shit I've said, or this could be a good song, or that could be a good song. It's just something that I've always done and always had with me. Oh man, well, that could round. Okay, I might work on that later.
Yeah.
But Route Irish was 7.25 mile stretch from the green zone in Baghdad to the airport.
Yeah.
And that's where your brass was going. Your
everything.
Everything.
It was an artery. It was basically the artery.
Yeah, it was the artery of Baghdad to get supplies, to get command, to get troops, to get whatever into the fight, and they knew it.
Yeah.
They knew it, and it was one of the most deadliest roads. They would say, "Oh, we're sweeping Irish," and we'd all just like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
IDs,
IDs, BBIDs.
And there's so many overpasses and just side routes to it, and you're in a city, and
it was a shit road.
Yeah.
So even
it was a shit road because we blew it all to hell.
Yeah. but even just driving down it, it was. From my understanding, it was the most dangerous road in that war.
I think for the first beginning of the war, because they knew that everything was coming through by op.
And it had to be constantly patrolled.
Mhm.
Had to
Constantly
constantly be
sweep for
controlled.
IEDs. Or we would find an IED and turn around the next platoon to clear would find one right
Yeah.
back in the same spot. It
Yep.
would
And the locals knew they'd
the
avoid
locals,
it.
yeah,
You know.
they most of them were in on it because they were scared to death. You
Yeah.
know, but so I came up with just the thought of like Irish Road, you know, Route Irish, my Irish kind
Yeah.
of history, DNA to
It's like it all
the
kind
coal
of
mines,
fits.
the coal mines of West Virginia to mostly settled by Irish people or Scottish people or, you know, European poor people that came over to make a better living. They end up getting stuck in the coal mines and I just tied it, in my personal opinion, I think it's one of the most beautiful songs I've
Yeah,
heard.
I
As far
agree.
as tying in a history of where I came from to tell the story of about I'm a poor white trash person from West Virginia. And I think there's a line in there that says I gambled everything away to walk down the Irish Road. And I didn't have much to gamble away anyway, so why the fuck not? Let's just,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna join the military. And I didn't want to write like you said, a Toby Keith,
You know.
proud to be an American.
Right.
And most
Flag
of them,
flying,
and there's
blah,
nothing
blah.
wrong with those songs
No,
to build some
no.
patriotism. Yeah.
But those were the guys that weren't there and saw it firsthand, so they don't
Yeah.
really understand how to hit home with it.
There's songwriters and then there's hit writers.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, Toby Keith, although patriotic as he may be, I know his dad was in the service and I know he feels a certain way. And I just feel like those kind of songs are at that time released. Although true to his heart, it might be, I just feel like writing a song because I'm patriotic as shit. There's still a thing in the back of your mind saying, I'm going to make some fucking money off this.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
being a veteran, and I'm not, toasting the man too much. We also, how many times did you do like, what do they call it? Benefits or banquets or whatever the fuck we did in the Army, like ceremonies.
Yeah.
That's what word I'm looking for. Damn, it's fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So ceremonies and stuff that they play that dumbass Toby Keith song, "Proud to Be an American," or Lee Greenwood song, and you're standing there the whole time, and the whole time I'm thinking, I was like, these songs suck,
Yeah.
Nobody's wrote a song about really being where the fuck I'm at,
Yeah.
and
Something that would actually reach out to the other people that have been.
yeah, and I've get so many veterans and even police force or because it's
Same scope.
yeah, same scope of,
Yeah.
of people that
Yeah.
have put their life on the line or put their life on hold to
Or
go
committed to
yeah.
something that they would
Yeah.
give their life to.
So I
Sure.
get constant messages, man. Hey, man, that appreciate you. That song
Yeah.
hit me, and my buddies in the bow camp, they want me. Hey, man, a couple of them, they're like, play Irish Road. I'm like, not now, dude. It's not the time.
Yeah.
Pretty emotional song.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're-
yeah.
I
I mean,
get,
it's,
and the funny part, like one
you
of my
can't downplay it.
one of
You
my
have
best
to
nights,
really...
we played a show and we got encored, and these frat guys were screaming Irish Road, and we never play that song live unless I'm at a place where I can fully get the crowd's attention
Yeah.
to tell this story. Like a songwriter round, I'll do it, or if I've got we played a crowd in front of Kane Brown one night, and I had them.
Yeah.
It's like a stand-up comedian. I knew I fucking had them.
Yeah.
And it was unplanned, and I just told the band, I started in the Irish Road. And it was just one of those, like the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I teared up. I was crying on stage. It was just once in a fucking lifetime kind of moments that's why I wrote the song.
Yeah.
So I'm giving the crowd me for just a fucking brief
Like
second
a raw
show.
version of what's
But
going
we've got,
on.
we got encored in a college bar one time. They were chanting Irish Road, and I did it as the encore song. And I'm like, this is so fucking odd that
Yeah.
this is the song
Yeah.
that I know that they don't fucking know what it means.
I feel it. Maybe they
Yeah.
can feel the gravity of it.
I think they,
Like it's such
I
a
think
real
like
song.
Tyler Childers and people have opened up that Jason Isbell and fuck Jason Isbell, by the way. I used to love that guy.
Shooting shots
I
everyone.
don't like him anymore. I have my reasons why I don't like him anymore. I love his music. I think he's an incredible writer, but he's a fucking liberal douchebag and he can suck a dick. You know,
How do you feel about
I'm
him?
with you.
dude, he's sitting there. Have you not noticed? Like Morgan Wallen went on the Grand Ole Opry and he tweeted, "He doesn't need to be on the Grand Ole Opry. He said the N word."
Yeah.
And first of all, he's a drunk college age white kid who all of them say it with the A, not the hard R. And he was talking to a white dude, and somebody filmed him saying this shit. He was a drunk asshole, whatever, and made a mistake of saying that and getting caught. Or,
Yeah.
you know. And then Jason
I've
Isbell,
done a lot of stupid shit
yeah,
too.
Jason Isbell, who's an ex-alcoholic, who's apparently, been somewhat abusive to his wife, who's wrote a song about it, that Morgan Wallen covered and made him a bunch of fucking money on it. And you're an ex-alcoholic person judging somebody for making a mistake.
Just virtue
You
signaling.
just
Yeah.
lost a fan, sir. You are a douchebag.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. So
Everybody.
sorry.
I had a question. So I was watching, what was it, Rob Thomas? Did he write 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he wrote it. I know he sang it.
Anyway, somebody else
I think he
wrote it,
did.
I'm sure.
No, I think he did because there's a video on YouTube and he was kind of giving the meaning behind it. And he said, I don't like to give the meaning because it kind of takes away the universe,
Yeah.
like how universal a song
Yeah.
could be. Because this could mean to you, it could be
Like looking at
Yeah.
art,
girlfriend.
you take your own
Yeah.
interpretation of it.
Yeah, so it was about his mom.
Certain songs you don't like. I have
You don't have
songs.
to provide
Yeah.
context.
You don't have to provide the meaning. They mean what they mean, or the story. You don't have to tell the story. A lot of we'll go to songwriter rounds, and like guys just want to you got like 3 or 4 songs to do. Then the next group of songwriters here in Nashville, and everybody's like, "Man, I wrote this song. I was at a hard time in my life, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to win this one." And I'm like, so I usually just play the fucking song.
Yeah.
It's like not every song needs a fucking. Oh my god! And most of them are a song about drinking beer. You don't need a fucking story about a song drinking beer.
Here's the context. I was
Yeah.
drinking beer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
feel like that's why people like Irish Road is because regardless of whether they lived through that or not,
Yeah, they have.
they can feel the realness of you
Yeah.
performing it and you
It's
singing
one of
it
it's
and you
one of the
pouring it
songs.
out.
It's one of the songs that is. It came from a place that just not many people can get a song
Yeah.
from, and I'm lucky as a songwriter to be able to write those. There's some songwriters that are just genius and can pull one of those from here,
Yeah.
like a John Moreland or somebody that I look up to. They could pull those deep ones that are think pieces out all the time. And it's a problem with songwriters because a lot of songwriters get stuck in a mode. They want to write that deep, 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 dark shit all the time. It's okay to write a song about it, drinking beer on a truck. It is.
Sure.
Okay. That's part of it. Not every song needs to put you in a dark place.
Right.
But you have some songwriters that try to go to that dark place constantly, and it comes off as fake.
Yeah.
I could name a few that are like wish list versions of somebody else that I just don't appreciate their music as much as a lot of these college kids do. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, Bob Dylan was way more better than that,
Yeah.
But that's just music's opinion. So, but I'm proud of that song. It's I never dreamed it would. It's not my most viral song by no means because people just the majority of people don't get it, But
Yeah.
there's the people that it hit, it makes it 10 times better as a
Yeah.
songwriter to write one of those that puts and it's not you have to know this story in order to get the story in the song.
Yeah.
And it kind of does suck that people, when they know you're a veteran, they're one line in I rained the brass down in the sand. If you're a veteran, you know what I'm talking about because we say that, and that's basically pulling trigger on a machine gun.
Just
The
raining
shells
brass.
it's raining brass.
Yeah.
And so that cat's out of the bag. So like that line's like everybody understands now. So, but I thought it was a dope ass line to put in. And like I said, it took 15 years to write it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
It happens slowly, then all of a sudden.
I was at a place where I was in my head about all the shit because I was being reminded about how I needed to tell America my war stories or whatever. And my war stories more of a comedy than what I remember of it because I remember the good times and the fun times and the the brotherhood of it more than I remember the actual hard times of it, because I'm a, glass full kind of person.
Yeah.
Like I look back on it and just think how I was blessed to be with the group of guys I was with, and how the friendships have lasted so long of a time, expanded and became something more than just that. I know my buddies' kids' names. I know,
Yeah.
there's like 4 or 5 of us that are,
You become an uncle
yeah,
that's not an
there's,
uncle.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
at least 50 men that I know in that era that I call on a, not a regular, but as much as I want to, or I can, and I tell them, hey man, hope you know I love you.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to have that. And I get random calls from guys or random messages from guys. Hey man, what you doing? Nothing. I just love you, man. Just want you to know.
Yeah.
And it's, so I think if more people just concentrate on the good of what we went through, what we experienced,
Yeah.
and not trying to crybaby bullshit their way into people feeling sorry for them. I see that as a problem of guys. I just can't get over it. No, you don't want to get over it, because you've been so defined by it that you're having a hard time trying to realize that you're more than just that.
Yeah.
You're more than just a broken
You're just
fucking
a part
veteran.
of you.
Every fucking Hollywood movie, I'm a broken veteran,
Yeah.
Cry me a river. I'm just psychopath that comes home and they never, tell the stories of guys who moved the fuck on and created good lives for them and their children and their families.
Yeah.
And which is the vast majority. There's one guy there that his mind broke there. We're going to do it. It's not every veteran. Yeah, we're all a little fucked up, but
Yeah.
it's not end all be all of who you are and what you'll ever be. You're more than that. You're always going to be that. That's a prideful thing. Keep pride in that, and just move the fuck on.
Yeah.
Whether you build houses or you scrub toilets, just be the best at scrubbing toilets you can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
And take the best parts of what you learned from that part of
I'm
your
not
life. And do
I'm
it.
not Garth Brooks. You know what I mean? I wish to God at some point everybody that does music and singer songwriters wants to be the biggest and I honestly don't give a fuck to be that famous. I've talked about before, but like
Yeah.
I want to be respected. It's just who I am. I want to be a singer songwriter. I want to be an artist, and I want to perform my music to people for as long as I can. That's my goal. Just find you. I want to be a contractor. I want to be, hey, I just moved baggage at the airport. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And Jordan, didn't you do both of those things?
Yeah, I did both of those. So
worked
why
at
I didn't
airport.
move baggage? Come on.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being just a civilian.
Yeah.
You're always going to be that soldier. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're always, that's part of who you are. You're just not that. You just got to learn to be what you are. I've been really, really blessed to put my, it's not luck. It's not, I think it's fate and work at the same time, that some people can sing, some people can't. Some people are got a better physique and can be a personal trainer. It's just find out what you're good at, whether it be just like, I don't think I'm ever going to be Cam Haines, but I'd like to strive to be a better hunter. I'm passionate about it. It's not making me any money. It's costing me a shit ton of money. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to put out hunting videos with I have a younger cousin named Hunter, and we've been talking about doing, he's striving to be a hunting personality. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll just I'll do it with you,
Yeah.
because I think it's awesome. Just, you can drive truck and still have goals other than, everybody says, man, how do you make a living playing music? I didn't for a long fucking time.
Long
That's
time.
how I did. I got
There's a lot of
fired from the
struggle
club.
between here and success.
I went 300 miles to do a show for $50 to get people.
Yeah.
Nothing is.
Well, if you talk to any of those stand-up comedians, you talk to
Yeah,
Joe Rogan, they're
there's-
always, I lost money for a long time
Yeah,
before I made it big.
Yeah, you have to be willing to work 6-7 days a week and still go do it.
Yeah.
There's no, man. I hear guys all the time, man, I'm gonna quit my job and go full time. Good on you, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was there. I know what it's like to to take that leap of faith and without a fucking parachute. There's no parachute
Burn
in
the
anything
boats.
you do.
We say burn the boats.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Just invest in yourself. Invest if you like to golf, you most likely never going to be a PGA guy. But if that is what brings you some sort of fucking happiness in your life, and then fucking be the best you can be at it, and
Yeah.
call yourself a fucking golfer. Hey, I'm a golfer. I know I drive truck for a living, but hey, man, this is what I am.
Yeah.
I was a soldier, and now I drive trucks so I can pay for my golf habit or whatever like that. Whatever passion you have, whether it be podcasting, comedy, whatever, that's who you are. Whether you make it big at it or you never go. There's guys around here I know. They're some of the best, like little acoustic act guys. They play in the same area, and they're fucking some of the happiest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Because they're, hey, I'm doing what the fuck
Simple.
I like
They're
to do.
living
Simple.
their passion.
It doesn't. I think in society now, you either got to be on top or you got to be, man, I got to do whatever it takes to. Not really. You know, you can sell your soul to the devil and play that role till you die, until it goes out of style. You really think the Allen boys are going to be talked about in fucking 2 years? No.
Yeah.
You know? So you can do what's happening or what's big at the time, especially in music. A lot of guys do that. This is big, so I'm going to try to be this. I'm going to sell my soul into it and try to convince even myself that I'm that person. You're not. You know, I'm blessed to actually know who the fuck I am and what I want to do and how I want to do it, what music I want to make. And I'm fine with it. Sony Records never dialed on my door. You know what I mean? I know it's all about money to them. And be real with yourself. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to make Kenny Chesney status by singing songs about a fucking road in Iraq or singing songs about, or folk songs about a breakup or country songs about how my mom didn't listen to Waylon or, you know, I know that's not the hit, but there are a bunch of fans out there that enjoy my music and it keeps growing. So I'm going to keep fucking doing it.
Yeah, but that's something that kind of goes along with one of the things that I know you're passionate about and something that kind of really irks me is veteran suicide.
Yeah.
And how you need to, regardless of how far you want to take it and how successful you want to be, you need to find what really truly makes you happy.
It's all about, I mean, you can work at a gas station and be an online poker player. If that's, like I said, if that's, just find something that brings you some happiness and fuck all the noise about what doesn't.
Yeah.
The problem is we can look online and see, oh, there people are living a bigger life and they're not struggling like me. You don't fucking know what they're doing. Nobody's going to post an ugly picture of themselves.
The only thing they're posting is what they want you to see.
Nobody posts an ugly picture of themselves.
No.
And I mean that in the most metaphorical way I can possibly mean.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to show you that they're really fucking struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't appeal. It doesn't get likes.
Right.
You know? Everybody's fucking struggling. Everybody is.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking... If you see a person truly happy, that motherfucker ain't on Instagram.
Yeah.
I hardly ever post shit like I have to. Like, I'd rather go out... When I go out squirrel hunting the other day, I sat out there for 4 hours and killed one squirrel. But I was fucking happy.
Yeah.
I was fucking elated. It was cold, shivering, the coals on my face. That shit makes me happy. That's the shit you have to fucking do in order to get past your demons. And there's so many people who think, did I post pictures of me squirrel hunting? Maybe one. Maybe, you know. And would I have if I didn't have there's certain things you have to do as an artist to,
Right.
you know, people get on me all the time. Man, you don't post enough of what you do personally. It's like, this is my fucking personal life. Well, people want to see it. And I'm still like, how the fuck would anybody want to see it? I don't want to see
squirrel hunting.
Yeah. You know. Yes, the suicide thing, it could be avoided. We could dive deep and I can say it's SSRIs, medicines. We all know about medicines that don't work, that they shove down our throats.
Mm-hmm.
I think counseling and realizing, hey, you know, trying to love yourself is the hardest fucking part of being a veteran, of being a human for one thing, but being a veteran is hard because you remember, man, I did some not so nice shit to people, to other human beings. And I think that's every bad thing that I've dealt with this, every bad thing that happens to you, it's because I did that. It's because I'm cursed. It's because I deserve it.
Yeah.
I deserve everything bad that's happened to me because I did an awful thing that I had to do. It's not the truth. War is war. Shit happens. You have to realize, hey, you're worth something. You're worth something to somebody. And if you're not, then fuck you. No,
I mean,
I'm totally playing. But no, soldiers,
You're making peace with your past.
yeah, you just have to let it go.
If anything, you got to do it for yourself too. You know, you
You
may
have-
not have anything.
You have to
left,
do it
but
for
it's-
yourself more than anybody
yeah.
else. Otherwise, you're always going to be middle. And trust me, like, I could sit here and post some pictures of me in front of crowds, big crowds and everything. And I go home. I got a song called Sunday Morning Blues I wrote with the great Jeffrey Steele and Bob DePiro in Nashville. And it's about those blues you feel once the show's over with, once you go back to the Sunday when there's no shows and you got to get through Monday, Tuesday, maybe a Wednesday you might pick up something, maybe, you know, but there's like 3 or 4 days in an artist's life that there's nothing going on. There's no money to be made. And you're sitting home with your thoughts of like, everybody else is going to work and you're like, oh, I don't really have a purpose. And you just deal with this, like these blues. Everybody deals.
I don't matter anymore today.
Yeah, I don't matter anymore today. You know what? All I need is another Friday night and I'm going to be happy as shit. So artists deal with that shit all the time. And in life, you know, back when I was welding, I was, you know, putting my wife through nursing school and all this stuff like that. I was welding 6-7 days a week, wasn't playing music. I was miserable as fuck. So what I do, I just turn my brain on. I'm going to build the best. I'm going to weld this manhole cover for this big heat exchanger. I'm going to make it the fucking best. I'm going to be the best at it.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to try to beat my last weld. You just have to get in this mentality of like, just, hey, this is what I do. I'm going to be the best at it. I'm going to get some pride and some satisfaction of what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Finding a new purpose.
Life sucks, man. I mean, life's hard. It is all the way around, especially if you're a veteran and you got a past that, you know, being in war is like driving NASCAR and then try to drive 55 mile an hour on the way home. You know,
It's like mundane.
Yeah, it's mundane as shit. It's nothing else to do, but if you ever got in a firefight in your fucking life, it sucks, but there's a goddamn rush to it.
Yeah.
Especially when you make it through. There's a fucking rush to it that you will never, ever feel ever again in your life. Not bungee jumping, not skydiving, not nothing.
I know it's hard to replace.
You can't
that
replace
adrenaline.
it. You can't replace it. You can go out and do stuff to try to, you know. That's how the Hells Angels were started, by the way.
Yeah.
A bunch of motorcycle riders home from World War II, fighter plane pilots and stuff, and we get on motorcycles and just fucking flat out just
roar.
Yeah. They, you know, every day's extra for them because they pretty sure they weren't gonna make it home. So every day's extra. So why not just get on my bike and do 150? And,
why not?
And
Playing with house money.
Playing with house money and
still bulletproof.
Yeah, and that's the thing you got to realize. Hey, that's just part of it, man. I'm not ever going to feel that way again unless you want to go rob a bank, get shot at by the police. I mean, more power to you if you can get, you know. But there's a feeling of even if you didn't get in firefights in there, you still got mortars coming over the wall. You still have to travel someplace where you know behind that corner these motherfuckers can make a move anytime. It's that fucking tension build up in you that for me that was the adrenaline of it.
Yeah.
The rest of it is like when it happens, like, whew, didn't get me.
Yeah.
That's a relief, you know, the tension building up to it. I think that's what caused most people's anxiety and their PTSD is that constant tension of, I could be driving down this road and it could end at any goddamn minute.
Yeah.
Or for me, my biggest fear was like my legs gone.
Yeah.
Or
stepping on a pressure plate.
Yeah. Or, you know, some guys come home and, you know, go to VA, man, get money for this and this and this. Like, man, I got my legs.
Yeah.
And it took like 5 years of convincing of people like, man, you know, your mind's fucked up. Your mind's part of your body too.
Yeah.
Those guys
arguably the most important part of your body.
It is. Yeah. And then, you know, then you see guys like running marathons with no legs and like, I'm a pussy. You know what I mean?
I know.
So
I know.
like just go to VA. This veteran talk is in my opinion, is one of the best. Getting with guys that you can just openly, you know, say, hey man, sometimes I drive down the road and I fantasize about wiping everybody fuck out.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool, it's normal, just don't fucking do it.
Just don't do it.
We got each other's back.
Well, some of the VA gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
But the people there, a lot of them have been where you are.
They care. They
and
do.
That's why they got into those roles.
It's a government-funded fucking agency.
Yeah.
It can't run but so smooth.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm waiting 2 years on an ankle surgery.
But a lot of my
Like-
doctors at the VA, they're all prior vets.
Yeah,
They all
they-
know what
they-
you're talking about. They all
have-
get it.
They have peer support guys
Yeah.
there. They have jobs there. If you're a veteran, I mean, if you just want to mop the floor and make good money, they have jobs there. I mean, you can't put it down so much. Not everything's conspiracy to fuck over somebody, and it's made up. Just go talk to somebody and avoid the trap of being. You know, it took me 5 years through a bottle. I mean, we're drinking now. I don't have a problem. We got any more, by the way?
All right, plenty.
Started
But
itching.
yeah,
That's another thing too. Is for me personally, one of my biggest, the thing that I do the most is just when you're feeling that down, reach out to your buddies.
Yeah,
because nobody is gonna get you like the people that were there with you.
yeah.
Get you.
Just call them.
Just talk to them.
Yeah.
I love when I was telling Billy and Matt. I have a buddy of mine that every time there's a hockey game on, a specific team, but he'll reach out and just shoot the shit of like, what the fuck are they doing? Why is this happening? I'm like, man, I fucking love when he hits me up. I love, because then I don't even give a shit about the game. I don't give a fuck what's happening in the game. I love that he talked to me.
If anybody takes anything out of this, is the point is that there's somebody out there. We just met today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure we're gonna have a few drinks after this and just shoot the shit like we did an hour beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, it's therapeutic.
Yeah, it
Just
really is.
You know,
That's why I got into wanting to do this,
Yeah,
because
kick-
this isn't my thing, but it
No,
really
it-
is therapeutic.
just talking to somebody about, hey, we talked about fucking wet dreams for Christ's sake, just something stupid. Look, as long as we're joking about that, we're not thinking about, you know,
Everything else.
first dude we seen die in Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever. Yeah, just call your buddies and hey man, I feel like shit. And most likely they're gonna say, that's cause you ain't shit.
Yeah.
And they're gonna give you a hard time and they're gonna snap you back to reality.
Or the best thing is to hear too, me too.
Yeah,
I feel
me
like
too,
shit
yeah.
too. You're not alone. I feel like shit too.
Hey dude, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Or let's plan on getting together soon.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like we got turkey camp coming up. You know, hey, I'm going turkey hunting next week. Just plan. Hey, I can't get off work. Dude, just take the time off
Yeah.
for your health.
Yeah.
Well, I can't because of bills. Sometimes you
Doesn't
just gotta
matter.
say fuck the bills.
Fuck the bill.
Yeah, and go.
What's a bill worth if
Yeah.
you're willing to kill
and
yourself?
go spend
over it?
time with your buddies
Yeah.
and your, like, you know, we need bro time. I talked about
Yeah.
this last time. I've got 3 daughters. I need bro
Yeah.
time. You know what
You're
I
in
mean?
a house full of estrogen.
Yeah, I need like time to just, hey,
Iron sharpens
let's go
iron.
talk about pussy and even though it's in the past.
Or just to be around somebody
Like-
that gets what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just somebody that
Or
understands
just make
some of the
jokes
shit you've been through.
and avoid conversation like I do.
Yeah. I just had a buddy get married, and some of my other buddies that were with me in the Marine Corps came down for his wedding, and just the hour and a half we spent together
Yeah.
was like, it just to know that not only could I feel open enough to talk about them, but man, I'm struggling. Like I'm
Yeah.
really struggling adapting to this life. They were like, me fucking too, dude.
Yeah.
And to understand that it wasn't just me, and that some of my closest friends were also going through the same shit I was, man, it changes your mindset on where you are in life, and all of a sudden you feel like I'm not just struggling, but some of the people that I look up to and that I care about, they're going through the same shit. I
And
am.
realize too, like there's civilians that didn't go through what we do, that some of your just issues are just life.
Yeah.
They're not all connected to Iraq or Afghanistan or Vietnam or whatever. They're just life.
Yeah.
It's still good if you haven't even done this, especially for men. We have, a lot of pressures on us that society doesn't see about bringing home the bacon and being a great father and being there for your
Stoic.
we have the
protector,
the protector,
provider,
and then we can act this way. Then we can, and society says, "Oh, we can't do this," or do we look good enough? We have self-esteems. We have
same issues women go through.
same, if not even more. You know what I mean? We don't marry people to provide for us, and not saying all women do. I'm just saying it.
Right.
In society, that's the role that we think we have to play.
Right.
It's not always that fact.
Well, it's
I'm not.
bred
Yeah.
into the way
Yeah.
we're made up.
So we have pressures. It's just good to get out and talk to guys and be a guy And if you're a veteran, it helps even more to talk to guys that's
That's
been
what's
through
so
what you've been
cool
through.
about what you want to do with hunting and
Yeah.
and what you're looking into doing is just giving guys a place to go
Yeah.
to experience that, but at the same time do something that they're kind of familiar
There's
with.
so many people
And-
out here that have never experienced. As far as a hunter that I grew up, I was lucky. My dad grew up teaching us how to hunt and fish in the outdoors. Like you said about camping earlier, it
Yeah,
just gave you
yeah.
a sense of just,
Just being back in the field.
oh, I am
Yeah.
man. Let's start a fire. I am man.
Yeah.
Let's sit around and have a few beers. Hunting is
Sleeping
that
on the
and more.
floor
And it's
again.
like the fact that you look in my day, I get up at hunting and I'm at like 4:30. All right, my mind's which way is the wind blowing? All right, what time of season is this? What deer do, especially mature bucks, or if you want to go after just a deer, I can put a guy. Hey, I've never killed a deer before. I can get a guy a deer, most likely 90% of the time, just a deer. Now you start talking about mature bucks, and we have to have 4 other podcasts and argue about the way to kill a mature whitetail deer,
Yeah.
especially with the bow,
Crossbow.
or a crossbow.
Yeah, crossbow.
If you're a pussy,
If you're a pussy.
or you're not a pussy if you're disabled. Even a woman, if you use a crossbow, you're a pussy.
There's a difference.
Fred Bear killed
Disabled.
a damn polar bear with a 55-pound recurve. You don't need to draw a weight to kill a buck or a deer. Just putting that out there. People are like, what the fuck's he talking about?
But that's something about bow hunting that I find interesting is the fact that the proximity you have to be to your kill. You have to be a lot closer than when you're with a
Rifle
rifle.
hunting, I've never killed a deer with my bow and arrow or had an encounter or I've seen fox. The other day I had it was like 2 days left of the season, late season. I wasn't seeing shit. But a fucking hawk flew into the limb right here and sat there for
Really?
almost 15 minutes.
Wow.
And he was just doing the same thing I was.
Yeah.
He was just looking to eat.
Scoping out the
he was-
land.
and he knew I was there. Like he knew. I was like, I want to film this so bad. But I didn't move. One, out of fear. I was like, God, if he thinks my hand or my eyes move, this motherfucker's going to, But it was just like this surreal thing. I'm like, I wonder if he knows that we're both just hunters out here trying to get our prey.
That's one of those
Like, you know
moments
what I
that
mean?
was meant just for you, though.
Yeah,
No one needed to share that
dude,
with you.
those are most of the moments because 98% of the time you're not going to kill anything,
Right.
especially archery hunting. For if you're going after a certain buck or a certain size buck or age limit buck, you're not going to kill anything. Half the battle is getting around them, and then fooling one with his nose, or fooling one with his eyes, or fooling one to think you're a female or another buck ready to take his territory is another ball game learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting to see a doe within 5 to 10, 15, 20 yards where you can make a bow kill if you've never done it before, you're going to be shaking so fucking bad. And that's why I want to do the archery thing, is because that's the closest thing I've ever came to feeling that feeling of what we're, of that adrenaline. There's
Well,
nothing that, because you're about to take something's life.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
It can't kill you back,
Right.
but you're about to go into a realm where our society doesn't know exists anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Nowadays, you just go to the grocery store and pick it up in
This is
cellophane.
wild game. I might be 100 yards from my house, or I might be 3 miles in or 20 miles in on an elk or whatever the hell you're hunting. But oh my God, it's happening. Now you got to remember the archery comes in, the martial art of it,
Yeah.
to calm your nerves, to calm your heart rate, to aim at the vital V, to wait for the perfect shot, to release. It's you can't explain the high you get from it.
Yeah.
And it's not about taking something's life, because I'm not going to lie. I killed a buck in PA, and before my buddy got there, I'm wiping tears like, fuck.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a giant. It was a big 7-point, but it wasn't a giant. But I was just like, man, we hunted, like me and him hunted hard that week.
What's the amount of effort you put into it?
The amount of effort, and then knowing like,
Emotion that
man,
went
we're
into
gonna go back and drink some beers at camp. We're gonna fry up some tenderloin. We're gonna,
And it's like getting through a firefight.
It is.
There's a victory
It's
at the
like
end where you're like, I made it through.
Yeah.
I made it. We got a victory. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have fun as friends.
And I think
Yeah.
it's been so therapeutic to me that the past few years that I've got back in, I've bow hunted all my life, and I took a time period where I didn't hunt. I'd go out and shoot a few does with a rifle just to have the meat, because I've always grew up on deer meat and stuff like that. And so I would do that and not really care about the hunt so much. And I got back into archery hunting and realized how therapeutic it was. I
Yeah.
really did see that it was, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, more veterans ought to do this.
Yeah.
They really should experience not just this. Most of the time I take person hunting for the first time, it's turkeys because you have a call and respond,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more apt for them to be like excited right off. Like, because the time a buck, you hear a buck grunt during the rut, he's on you.
Yeah.
He's close enough to hear.
Yeah.
And that happens maybe 2 weeks out of the year that he's roaring like, I'm coming in, hit the grunt bird, he hears it, he comes in ready to fight you. And that's a different experience, but that's a harder experience to get to for a new hunter because most people aren't that patient. So a lot of times I'll take them turkey hunting where first in the morning you hear them calling. They might not come in on you, but you hear them and oh my God, you get excited.
Yeah.
And a guy that's never experienced that or child or whatever, they hear, oh my God, they're right there.
Yeah.
You get that, and you got to tell them, just calm down. This fucker's 300 yards away. We got to get him the rest of the way in, or we got to go there. But it's an exciting feeling to see somebody else get excited about it the first time.
Yeah.
And deer hunting, but you'll see it like it ain't got to be a huge buck. It'd be a spike or a doe come through, and you're just trying to get your first bow kill. You can see these, woman, child, man, whatever. Even a veteran that's been through, be the badass Marine you've ever seen in your life. They'll start shaking.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. That was so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what I want other guys to experience too. And then be like, now you have something that you can strive to be better at. You can strive to work out for. I started caring about my shape and not smoking cigarettes and man, I was tired dragging that deer out. I had to get in shape. So therefore you're in a gym, just thinking about a period of life that's only 3 months or 2-3 months long, season wise, the best part of it's only 2-3 weeks long. But you start planning, like my favorite part is like, where am I going to go? Where the wind's at? Where have I got the most intel? Just like military, I got the most intel on this buck.
Right, yeah.
Most sign he's leaving, just like if
Thing
you're
you
tracking.
get to use some of your skills
your
again.
skill set.
Yeah.
You become a hunter. You become a killer. You become.
Well, because you went from hunting people.
Yeah.
And now you're hunting animals.
exactly.
And it's a.
And it gives. I think it gives somebody something to strive for, and it doesn't have to be important to everybody else.
Yeah.
You don't have to be famous. You don't have to.
Right.
But man, once you kill that first Pope and Young or Boone and Crockett buck with a bow, or even if it's just a 4-point. Like I see guys like posting. You ever see? Hunters are just like vets. We give each other shit so much. Oh, you're a pussy. You killed a 4-point. If it's that guy's first 4-point or his first spike, it's like he's smiling so big with that. And most hunters be like, man, that's a fucking spike.
Right.
But you don't know. This guy's.
It's the world to him.
It's the fucking world to him.
Yeah.
John Eberhart, one of my favorite bow hunters, has 50 buck record book bucks. He's one of the best bow hunters in the world. He's out of Michigan. He's killed 30 bucks in Michigan, which is the most pressured hunting state of all. There's just so many hunters, and hunters kill everything that moves. So to get a big buck there is damn near impossible. He's that good. He's got 30 in the record books. And then he's gone out west and kills just massive bucks. So he's got 50 record book bucks. He still has his spike. He said, this means the most to me.
First one.
First one he ever killed with horns.
Yeah.
He said, because back then there was none.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what I was doing to get a buck that close to you to kill with a bow and arrow. He's like, that means more. These can all burn.
Yeah.
That one right there was the most challenging.
That's the one that lit the fire in
yeah. So my goal this year is to get as many veterans into bow hunting and maybe start something that where archery equipment's expensive.
Yeah.
And getting people the right setup. You go to archery. Everybody's got their opinion on what arrows, what bow, what not to use, what you to use scent control. Don't use scent control.
It's
don't
like guns. Everybody has their own opinion.
That's null and void to bow hunt.
Yeah.
You can wear blue jeans and a flannel shirt. I just want to get hunters a good bow and the right arrow set up to go experience what I've got to experience through my life, and that I know later on in my life that's helped me cope
Yeah.
with being a veteran, a combat veteran. So hopefully I'll get to brainstorm. I've been talking to people, and I don't know what we're going to call it yet. No clue.
Yeah.
Bows for vets, for all I give a shit.
Sure,
Just
yeah,
something.
whatever.
Hey, you got an old bow, man. You're instead of just selling it for $500, man. Just if you got money for another $1,600 new bow, just hey, why not donate this to this veteran
Yeah.
here that's never been?
Yeah.
Set him up right, and we'll get some. You know, I'm hoping it takes off, that we can get some guys that like the Fallen Outdoors to dedicate their time to veterans, to take veterans hunting, and get them set up and just give them the experience of not even getting a deer, but just the opportunity to experience that. And I know for a fact in my heart that it will help so many people out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know hunting is not for everybody. I'm not saying if you're a combat veteran, you need to hunt. I'm not saying that. There's some
Right.
people don't give a shit to,
Sure.
but there's some guys that are just down and they need something.
An outlet.
Even if you experience, hey man, that was cool.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. But they, you know, you don't want to drop $1,200. Man, I'd like to try bow hunting, but I don't know anything about it. I get that all the time. And I'm like,
It's like, come out, we'll show you.
let's
I got the gear. I got the
Yeah.
I've never been bow hunting.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like just to even just raise awareness of it.
Yeah.
We could do a video where
Yeah,
we
let's
go
do
where we
it,
go
man. Yeah.
bow hunting.
Especially,
Just
like
go
I
out-
said, you
go out
don't
in the
have
woods
to.
and just
You don't
show how beneficial
yeah,
it could be.
You don't have
somebody.
to. You don't have to have Sitka gear or
Right.
Scentlock, or all you need is you can go to Walmart. You can get just wear your blue jeans.
Yeah.
And a good hunter can put you
Start
on an
with the
opportunity to. Because trust me, you can sit in the woods for 4 hours. That minute you hear that worm crack and you look over and you see that deer or that animal
Yeah.
coming by you and not knowing that you're there, or seeing them react. So
You know
and
you
get-
got the best of
and
them.
getting this is what drives you the most, is when you make a mistake and they blow off. And you're like, oh, I want to feel that
Like
again.
I gotta learn from.
I gotta learn from that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's the best therapeutic way to just disconnect from this shit
Yeah.
and life in general, and go back. And your freezer's full of meat that's good for you.
Yeah,
It's not pumped full of
absolutely.
steroids,
Yeah.
and you can take
Some
it
of
for
the
50,
leanest, most protein-rich meat.
$50,
you can get.
$60. You can go get your steaks cut. You don't even have to. I mean, you have to gut it and everything, but throw it in the back of a truck, take it to a processor. He'll pack it up for you. You don't even.
Yeah.
I like doing all that myself, making my.
Around here, you probably
Yeah.
find anybody
Oh,
to
yeah.
help you do it.
And then you get to come back and tell the stories.
Yeah.
Hey, well, he's come 15 yards, and I was on my phone, and then, he come this way, and I got shot
And
at
worst
him.
comes to worst, you don't get anything, but you spend some time alone in
Dude,
the woods
just-
with some buddies.
Just
and you
seeing, like, you see two squirrels fucking for all, and you're like, you're just sitting there watching. You gotta get it, boys. That's
I can
Yeah.
see the
Seriously.
channel right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched so many.
squirrels
I've
fucking.
watched so many squirrels fuck in my
Yeah.
day. Like, just god damn, man.
You ever kill one while they were fucking? Because that's pretty fucked up.
I don't think so.
That'd be pretty messed up.
No, I'll probably wait.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait.
You went to the squirrel pulls out the cigarette. You're like,
Yeah.
they're done.
I seen.
C'est la vie.
I thought about shooting this little 6-point. He was breeding a doe one time, and I was younger. I've only seen it once when he was actually breeding her during the rut, and he locked her down, and I was like, thought about shooting him, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And
God
be-
bless
don't
well, I
be a
didn't. I was bow hunting, and I didn't have a clean shot, but I was like, be funny to. We'll get this.
Man to man, I'm gonna let you do your
Yeah.
thing.
But I appreciate you having me
Dude,
out, man.
Mikele,
It's been
man,
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
having- Thanks for coming, taking
gonna-
time out of your day to do this.
We got to go get another bottle.
Yeah, for sure.
Night's young, man.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. Guys, if
Take
if you liked our show, please leave us a like. Subscribe to the channel so that you can hear some more shows coming up. Every time we drop a show, we'll get you a notification. Other than that, thanks for
Or
watching.
I want to interrupt.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran and you've got just a story, hit
Yeah,
hit the channel up, and
We'd love to hear from you.
maybe get an opportunity to be on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really and everyone's got a good story. Everyone has something to add to the conversation. We all have something to add to the conversation, and with how many problems are in the community,
Yep.
it's good to hear from
And
everybody.
if you're struggling and you got nobody to call,
Yeah.
hit us up on here, and
Yeah, for real.
and
Yeah.
Don't do what you're thinking about.
Yeah, if you're looking for somebody to talk to, there's plenty of people to talk to, and if anything, reach out to us here. We're all of us
Amen.
are here to support you, for sure.
Except Matt, he's kind of a douche.
I ain't that.
But thanks for watching. Tune in next time.